PSVR2 games? Really? Updates on Doom B3 VR, Swordsman VR, Zero Caliber, Hellsplit Arena, and more.
I'm disappointed, Brian.
You're always disappointed.
You should have said like PSVR 3, like PSVR 3 info. Yeah. Like you should have just doubled down on this. I expected better.
Well, AJ, one day when you have your own YouTube channel, you can do whatever you want to do with it. All right, let's cue the cat, man.
Cue the cat, because we got a bunch in here, and I want to say what's up to Jeffy Condyle already coming in with the donation. Thank you so much, man. Rasa Christopari, pizza, cheese, pizza, cheese, pizza, cheese, pizza. Crafty crayons.
Yeah.
Julia the Game Cat. Yeah. Oh. Warren Gore, the Goriest Game Cat. Matt H, what is up, man? Focus Flute. Focus Flute. PSVR2 games announced? Yes. Well, sort of. We'll get there. 9 lives. That one's on Brian. Oh,
I'll explain the hell out of that if you want me to.
9 lives, the Game Cat. That Game Cat in the chat. Russian Santa in the house today.
Russian Santa.
Paul Powell. Todd. The brother, Game Cat. Here's the Game Cat, our local news scooper. Game Cat, the Charlie Fisk. Hello, Mason Owada. Hello, Jamie Slark. Rody the Game Cat. Red Rover the effing Game Cat. Game Cat, formerly known as Mad Max. I'm secretly boss turned ally. No way.
What?
The angry
Mad
one.
Max became
Shiny and Chrome together. We'll play our PSVR 2s. Andrew Bailey, Johnny Ripop the Stray Cat, LC2552 Beats. What's up, Liam? David Regan. Hello, just saw you on my other stream. Thanks for dropping in, man. Here, he's everywhere. Sinner 669, the unholy Game Cat. How much time I got left? Scottjestico, PSN Harry Fella. What up, dude? TJ Silver Lake Gaming Psycho. Mick Coles, Jamie Slark. I have a feeling we are on camera now. Steve Irie, Wolf Grays, Kyson, fist bump to you. TJ, the Pumpkin Patch Kid, Doug Fu, Ninja Cat, Hoo-ha, he, Wolf Craze. I think I'm starting to repeat here, so we'll go ahead and move on now.
Excellent. There was real quick. I know you get the Jeffy Condyle tip. Did you get the other tip?
It was from AJ himself.
Oh, then the other tips from PSVR Underground, the $5 donation, saying, let's go!
Fuck that guy. We don't need his money.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. Although you did just repay me for something interesting that I did earlier today, but we'll talk about more about that, shouldn't we? This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we bring it to you live because that's what live means. No messing around, man. This is how it works. You're all here with us. It's so awesome. Let's snuggle. My name's Bryan Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station.
I'm rolling with it today because I'm in a good mood. Because I got a lot
less
hair
bring him down,
on my
Brian.
face.
You
Look
can't
at this.
bring
I got
him
a
down.
neck again, guys. I'm feeling
Ain't
great.
nothing. Look at you.
Anybody notice that?
Did you go to
like
the next
John
door?
Wick.
Trim this thing.
Looking
No,
slick.
I just went to my bathroom and I
Yeah.
did the whole thing.
Listen. My mom was complaining about you, so I'm glad you finally appeased her.
Well, part of it is I got to go on a Zoom call with my family this weekend, and I was like, you know what? It's probably about time. And as soon as I hit the first, zzz, it was just like I couldn't even believe how long those strands of beard hair were. Like crazy stuff.
As interesting as this story is,
We could keep going.
that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Gamecast? Let's go. I'm super stoked. We got a lot of awesome stuff to talk about today. Beat Saber got an update. Could it be the multiplayer?
Could it be
Spoiler.
now?
It's not.
What could it be now?
Lots of other things, of course.
Yeah.
Right, it's in the thumbnail. Apparently
Playing
we
with
know a
myself.
ton about PSVR 2 games, apparently, all of a sudden.
I mean, what do you mean all of a sudden? If you haven't been paying attention to the channel this week, it might be all of a sudden. But you know what?
Everybody only watches Gamescast, okay?
No, everybody only watches PSVR this week. That's what I figured out. I could shut down the rest of the channel, and this week will carry us for years. All right, well, this is all everybody watches.
Fine. The best ones only watch Gamescast.
The best of the best. The fluffiest of the fluffiest. We fucking love you cats. All right. Well, yeah, we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We've got PS5, I'm sure, to talk about. Maybe not, but we definitely got PSVR2 to talk about. But more importantly than any of that, we should begin the show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or should we, with 6 seconds up on the clock button the counter. The way that Jeremy likes it, it's our time to tell you, the loyal game cats, whether you should or should not be playing it or watching it or doing the things that we've been playing it or watching it or doing. Who would like to go first?
It looks like the light is on for me, but it's not actually on. I'll go first.
On your mark.
All right.
Get Dez. Go.
Let me tell you a little bit about a game called The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, guys.
Never heard of it. Tell me
more.
about it.
The
Tell me
number
more.
one PSVR game currently, according to PSVR Without Parole, a very credible source, on their list, official list. So there's no arguing. It is the best game on PlayStation VR. This is the crew that's the most experienced. Anyways, I was playing Trials earlier because I'm addicted to that. I'll forgive you, GamerChick13, who's nowhere to be found right now, because I'm sure deep down in my heart that she is too busy working on some additional content, my brass knuckles, my zombie unicorns, and the PS5 patch, of course. So I'll forgive you, GamerChick, for not being here right now. But anyways, Saints Sinners is on sale right now. I'm surprised how many people haven't picked this up yet. I've been getting lots of comments saying, hey, I just picked this up now. There's a physical edition going for $20. Of course, there's a sale on it right now. You want to pick it up right now. It's worth full price. Do it right now. You're going to need it soon. Should we?
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've never heard of this game. I guess I should look into it. Yeah. Is that it? You don't
That's
want
all
was
the
his whole
time I
minute.
have.
He spent his whole minute.
you don't
Well, he
want to
barely
pimp,
said
you
it.
don't want to pimp
yeah.
your channel where you just played this game, the Trials, or you don't want to pimp somebody else's channel who just talked to
You know what?
guys?
You're
Since
right.
when
Thank
do
you.
we
Thank
do
you
that?
for the reminder,
We
Brian.
don't. We don't. AJ's breaking all the rules right now.
Okay.
There's a channel, buddy of mine, Jason, who runs the VR chat channel, and they just posted, as I was streaming, a Walking Dead Saints and Sinners interview. And they do this thing. You have to see the rooms they build for the developers. I participate in these. Brian's done it. Dave's done it.
I'm going to be on the next one. I think both of us are going to be on the next one, potentially,
it's
right?
very,
Yeah.
very community related. They're really awesome stuff. And yeah, man, you have to see the room they built for Saints and Sinners in Rec Room. It is incredible.
Mhm.
And go check that interview out. And yeah, thanks for the reminder, Brian, because
Man.
I totally was planning on doing that and forgot.
I hope they build a room for the room. The room
A
VR
room
for
Like,
Dark
oh,
Matter.
hi, Mark. Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Like the room in Dark Matter. Like,
Yeah,
give me that police station, man. That was a
Oh, I
great
want
room.
the museum room where you're dealing with all the artifacts. That would be a really cool room to walk around in.
A room for the room. Dave, I think
Oh,
this
the other
game's-
thing too is they open up all these rooms after the show, so people can visit them publicly. So Betty just said, "Go to the room."
Yeah.
They probably have a link in their video or whatever where you can actually go to the room where they interviewed the people, walk around, check it out, and they're usually pretty cool. Sometimes they even have like playable sections and stuff. So yeah, really cool stuff. But I am ready to go when the timer is up.
I will let you know when the timer is ready, but first I got to give a shout out to GameCat, formerly known as Mad Max. I'm secret boss turned ally. This is like a long description. Now that we know who you are, Mad Max, thank you so
That's
much
wild.
for the $3 donation. He says, Dave, stop lying. You love the Rev. Hashtag love the Rev.
One of these days, I'm
Hashtag
starting
love the
to-
Rev.
Yeah, I think this should be a thing. Right?
Hashtag
When I'm in a good mood, I like it.
So
So usually I'm
never
in a
like it.
terrible mood. Yeah, it's
Horrible. All
Yeah.
right, man. Well, then let's get your should we out of the way while we still have a smile on your face. On your mark, get Des, go.
All right, so this is a little bit of blast from the past, comfort food from my childhood. I started watching the anime called Rurouni Kenshin. Anybody ever heard of this? Rurouni Kenshin,
No.
also known as Samurai X for some of it in the West. It's like a long running. There were like 90 episodes of it over a few seasons. Just kind of like a Japanese period samurai drama with this guy who used to be the baddest ass killer in the world, and he killed everybody, and then he decided he's going to be peaceful now, so he's got a reverse bladed sword. It's very anime-y, of course. He's like, oh, and the eyes go really big, and like some girl smacks him in the head or whatever. But besides all that stuff, it's actually a really good period drama, and like I've been liking it so far. I kind of forgot about it, but I used to love it when I was a kid. It's all on HBO Max, subtitled, but if you like dubs, it's on Hulu also. But it's just like a classic samurai thing. I love samurai shit. And they have a few live action movies, which have been pretty good. I watched the first one so far. And yeah, that's about it for me. Check it out, folks. If you like samurai stuff, definitely knows what's up.
I got to apologize. I had nothing anime on hand, so I had to throw a Ni no Kuni trailer up just to be like,
Cool. That's close enough, man.
closest I have. So I apologize for that. Although, come on, guys, Ni no Kuni is so good, so good.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
so good. Want to give a huge shout out to the Wolf Craze for the very, very generous tip he just dropped in the chat. $50, guys.
Oh, wow. Thank
Ridiculous.
you.
Says, thank you guys for your work. And thank you so much for believing in what we're doing, man. We really, really appreciate it. Much love. I never know what to say, man. It's like I feel like there's not enough words to express, like, you know, how thankful I am that all these
Grateful,
cats are here.
man. You're grateful. Bryan is very grateful.
That's right.
You guys should know that.
Okay, now
it's
we
your turn.
we just want to see more Tornado, who's adorable.
I mean, is she there? Oh yes.
Oh, she's like hanging off.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? That's right. Oh, she was so cute today, man. We snuggled together while I took a nap. Oh, God. The only reason I even got up from the nap was because she kept licking the same part of my arm over and over and over till it literally hurt. All right, guys. I wanted to get one more tip. Unintended Studios with $5 tip says, cosplayed as Kenshin in my last music video.
Yeah, everybody in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So
I'm
right on,
feel
chat.
left out here. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to look into
Yeah.
this. All right. Well, then on.
I know
my
you like
mark-
the
sorry,
usually more like dark anime stuff, like Death Note,
Yeah.
and like kind of more twisted stuff. It's not really like that. It's pretty,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
not like that. It's not very
I
dark.
want to get back into the Promised Neverland, but I can't deal with just watching one episode at a time. So I'm trying to wait as long as I can so I can marathon like 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the second season yet, so I think Betty and I will probably marathon that in big screen when it's time, because that's how we watched the first season. That was really cool.
Maybe somebody in the chat has more info than I do. I've watched 1 or 2 episodes of the second season. I didn't love the way it started. Like it ended so strongly that I was just like the second. I don't know. So maybe somebody in the chat can like remind me or tell me, hey man, don't worry, it gets better. But in the meantime, on my mark, it does go. Definitely, this is perfect that Ni no Kuni is up right now, because I've actually been playing. This is totally random. Professor Layton in the Curious Village on my Nintendo DS.
Okay.
It's so random, right? AJ always gets mad that I'm not playing PSVR games for Should We or Shouldn't We's, because I would have loved to. But then it turns out that like all the time that I have, like, when I finally want to like just chill and relax, I just want to lay in bed and snuggle up with something. And Professor Layton right now is totally scratching the itch. Like it's got that awesome level 5 animation, somewhat anime style, somewhat cell shaded, something along those lines. Puzzles are like just tricky enough to like keep me thinking, and then and I do like 1 or 2 puzzles, then I close the 3DS and I go to bed. So that's it's a total should we. I've got a ton of Professor Layton games, but I've never actually sat down and decided to play through any of them from beginning to end, and I think I'm doing that right now, which is crazy. So that's should we. Another should we, dude. Anytime you can get David Jagano to bark live on the air, definitely do it. I did it today.
How did
total
you do
should
that?
we. I'm sorry, I'd explain, but I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd explain, but
during
time
their
is
live
up.
stream, did you tip for him to bark?
Yeah.
Did you tip to make him bark?
Yeah, Jamie made me do it. Yeah, Jamie was like,
Jamie
Jamie was like, David's not a
Jamie.
cat person, and he's like, so he's not going to meow while you're here, but maybe he'll bark. And David was like, I don't see anything. I don't see any super chats. And I was like, well, I'll take care of that. So I sent $5 over and said, bark, David, bark.
Excellent.
And he did. So that's a should we big time.
Good boy, David. Good boy.
Who's a good boy? Yeah. Right. Man, you're not a cat person. What kind of person is it if you're not a cat person? That's the answer. And level 5 is so good. What happened to them? All right, you guys. We get so much news to dive into today. But before we get started, I do want to give a special shout out to all the people that make this channel possible. Not only all the cats who are hanging out and watching and enjoying the show, but also everyone who supports.
You're
us
welcome, Bryan.
You're
welcome.
Also, everyone who supports us on Patreon. I'm working my way up to you guys. Everyone who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparole you guys are awesome. And of course, everyone who tips in the chat, you guys are phenomenal as well. Then we got the secret heroes of Without Parole, and those are all the moderators behind the scenes, making sure that everything is running smooth in the chat, on the comments, everywhere. Man, it just means so much to me. It's like this family that really just supports each other, and the Game Cats are a huge part of that family. And then of course there's Dave and AJ too. You guys want to get onto the show?
Yeah, but real quick I want to say let's get a big round of applause. Betty is at Best Buy picking up her PS5 right now. She got one. I love to see it. I love to see it. Welcome to the family.
Hell yeah.
You'll love it.
She was already in the family, but
well, I mean the
PS5 family.
Yeah, the High Def family, the Dreams family. The family.
Hell yeah!
I like it.
Follow my Twitter, man. I'm retweeting those deals daily.
Oh yeah, I guess you could follow AJ. That's a thing.
Yeah.
AJ, speaking of AJ, what's our first story today, man?
So we have a bunch of stories, Bryan. We have, guess how many?
A baker's
13.
dozen. We have a baker's dozen.
Yes, today. Also, a sale. There is a sale as well, but it's not as huge as the ones we usually deal with. So I think we can plow through it. But it's very significant. There's some awesome games. Don't want to miss it. But yeah, man, we've got some updates on Doom, Zero Caliber. We got some new games to talk about. PSVR2 games, Bryan. But first, we're going to start with anything PS5 related, which unfortunately is pretty much nothing. But instead, we've got the top 10 PSVR downloads from February. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, sirens on my end.
Nice to see some new names on here. Number 10, Batman Arkham VR. Okay,
wow.
I don't know about new ones, but it was on sale.
Yeah.
So there was a sale that has affected this one, which is kind of cool. Number 10, Batman Arkham VR. Number 9, Creed Rise to Glory. Number 8, Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series. Number 7, The Walking Dead Onslaught. Number 6, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Number 5, Swordsman VR.
Wow.
Swordsman
Really?
VR
People are
coming in
listening to
hot
us. Holy
at
shit.
number 5 on the top downloads. Congratulations, Sin Studio. All he did was give it a $5 reduction. It wasn't like $5.
Well, he also added like a shitload of content to it.
That's
Since
true.
it
Is
came out,
this
yeah.
And
the
there's
first
more
time? Is
content.
this the first time it's hit the top 10 sales chart?
I haven't seen it there before, but
Yeah, so maybe this does have a lot to do with the sale. I mean, the content of course helps, but being like, hey, pay attention to our game, it's cheaper now. That usually would generate sales.
Yeah, man. Well, congrats to Sin Studios. We got some excellent news to share on them as well with Swordsman VR. Gorn is out, and it's at number 4. At number 3, we've got Super Hot. At number 2, Job Simulator. And at number 1, who can guess?
Well, it's not Resident Evil 7 because they don't count it on this fucking list. So automatically bullshit.
It's Beat Saber. Of course. So the top 3 are back to normal. You're seeing a lot of the same top 10 here, but Swordsman was new, Batman Arkham was new, and the rest have been holding pretty strong and steady. Now, I will say, I think there is a side note here. When it comes to PS5 games, the top PS5 games at number 8 is Hitman 3, and at number 17 is No Man's Sky. So those do include VR modes. So we're going to kind of count them a little bit. They're doing pretty well. No Man's Sky still selling this many years later.
I'm trying to get caught up on the chat here because I see people wishing Scottjestico his birthday. I know we wished him happy birthday last week, but he was taking time off for his birthday week, and so I think today might actually be his birthday, or we're even closer to.
It's like, I think it just turned his birthday.
Are you talking about Scottjestico? He said 43 minutes till I'm 43. Spooky.
Okay,
So,
40.
That's excellent.
At
All right.
7 p.m. our time, everybody remember, I'm going to
please
sound an
tell
alarm,
us. I'm
and
not,
we'll do
so
like
I'm not
a
Yeah, you got
birthday
this.
alarm.
Dave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah,
I'll set a timer, actually.
That's crazy to see some of those games jump up high on the list just because of a small sale. You mentioned that Swordsman VR was only a minor discount. I know Gorn was only a minor discount, so it doesn't take much for people to go, okay, I've been finally waiting for a sale. So I think sometimes it's more like the sale than the exact amount of the discount to get people motivated. They're like, well, I've really been wanting this. It's finally on sale. It's not a huge sale, but I'll still take the plunge, which is kind of cool.
I've been noticing sales are a new marketing strategy in a way. They're not every single game these days is like we're going on sale because we're hurting. There's games that just go on sale just to keep the momentum going. And yes, okay, I didn't think of this on my own. This is actually a little bit of insider information, so I'm not going to take credit for that. But yeah, it is used as a hey, let's keep the momentum going, let's keep the excitement going, let's keep our game being mentioned in conversation constantly. Yeah. And boom, it pays off. You see games go on sale so fast these days. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a new marketing strategy, but they have been doing really big sales lately with a ton of games in them.
So many.
Like on almost unprecedented. Those 2 sales back to back were just like insane.
Like
hundreds of
4
games,
sales
right?
back to back.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been a huge time for sales, and like it's almost a little crazy that it took PlayStation so long to catch on because obviously Steam sales were generating crazy sales for so long, but of course, I don't think we don't frequently see the kind of crazy sales on the PlayStation Store that we see on Steam. So I think PlayStation's still kind of finding their way through that whole like ecosystem, but they're doing a great job, man. It's like they're keeping people interested, and there's been a whole lot of interest in PSVR for the last. Couple weeks, not only because of all the new announcements, but again, because of the sales. So
reinvigorated. This one's for you, EAE, who keeps asking about this, man. We have some breaking news. Broke right as this show was about to start. And it is in regards to Alvo. Also, I saw Alvo in the chat. What up?
Yeah, they were there at the beginning.
But I just retweeted this as well. Alvo posted on Twitter 28 minutes ago with a new map complete. Alvo 1.0 is nearly ready for prime time. We will be announcing a release date very soon.
Cool.
Alvo getting a release date soon, you guys.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome, man.
exciting.
You know,
Hell yeah.
This has been a really, really, really long voyage for them, man. It's like this began back in like easily 2017, because the first trailer had a release date of 2018 on it. So it's good to see that this finally make its way to the home stretch. And you know, and it'd be one thing if it was just like, hey, they're telling us, but they're actually involving members of the community, and they're saying here's a beta key, come check out the game and give us some feedback. And so like people have played it. It's not like no one's played it. It's not like we're just looking at gameplay footage all the time. People have played it, and the response is pretty positive. So.
Oh yeah, everybody's been having a great time when we've hopped in, and they've been really quick about fixing bugs and adding new modes and adding new stuff. Like every time I go back in to play it, there's been like 2 or 3 updates since the last time I played. So yeah.
The excitement from this game comes from the fast pace of it. And not only are the rounds, the lives and stuff are fast, where you run out, you shoot, you get some kills, you die, and then you respawn, unless you're Gaisen and you're just killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything about this game is just blistering fast. There's like so little downtime. You're constantly fighting, and that makes it really, really cool. And now they've added these new mechanics like sliding and stuff. They've added new character models. They've added a female character now, and all of them all look like much better as well, the existing ones. So this game is coming along nicely. I know people are ready for it, but just give them whatever time they need, because every single time they do these updates, man, I'm like so impressed and think the game is coming along better and better. So exciting stuff. Yes, guys, fist bump to you. New map came out today in the beta. I haven't had a chance to test it out yet, though.
I need to dive back in. I still haven't played Search and Destroy, which means I haven't played a big chunk of this beta. So yeah, we'll definitely get back to that, and we'll report back to you as soon as we can.
Well, apparently Shuhei has played Search and Destroy. Didn't you say that, AJ?
Yes, he did. He played with some of the game cats. Shuhei was playing with the cats, man. We're all one big family here, man. It's great. It's great.
You're just saying that now because you want Shu to be part of our family. Like, we're one big happy family, Shuhei included, for sure.
And
yeah, I mean, I want him to be part of our family too, man. Absolutely.
All right. So, looking forward to that. We'll have more on that later. But for now, we should get back to the scheduled news. After that breaking news occurred. Doom 3, you guys. Doom 3, the most anticipated game at this moment. We found out some great info on it, and it came via a pre-order at GameStop. The physical edition pre-order went up for with GameStop. It's an exclusive thing only with GameStop, so it's kind of tricky because you might have to wait a couple days if you go through this route. However, $19.99 is the price that we have discovered, and there's more info on top of that. But how about that, guys? $19.99 for Doom 3.
That's lower than I was expecting, but a really good price, especially for a physical. Like, to know that I can have a copy of this for $20 on my shelf. That's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might buy the physical as like a nice to have later, because like I want to play it as soon as I can. Which
hey, you can double dip on this game.
I mean, it's cheap enough, yeah. And I'm sure physicals, always go down in price. So this will probably be $10 used at GameStop in like 6 months.
Yep.
But I really think I'm going to try and get it from Australia so I can play like the second it's available. Because we used to do that in the past, and I think this would be a good reason to do that. Unless, Bryan, you're getting us keys, in which case I won't. But we'll see.
I mean,
Bryan gets his keys?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to help you out. I'd like to help myself first. I mean, we'll see what happens. That's the problem, man. Like, we don't like that. There is no schedule because we never know what's going to happen. We just kind of be like, we wake up at like 4 a.m. and somebody from another country had sent you a key, and you're like, well, it's time to get to work. Let's fucking do this. But yeah, no, I actually want to ask the chat because it's funny the different reception that this news got on my breaking news report. Some people said, of course it was going to be $20. We knew that there's no surprise here. And then other people were like, that's a fucking amazing deal. I can't believe it's so cheap. And so I'm kind of curious where the chat falls here. Like what price were you expecting to pay? What price were you willing to pay? because it was a little crazy to talk to some people like Jay Meow in the chat who kind of expected it to launch at $40, and I was sort of in the $30 camp, and so $20 was shocking to me. But especially since you got to consider that you can buy Doom 4 flat screen right now on the PlayStation Network for $10. I don't know how much of that plays into this though, like how much of a factor that becomes. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think comparing it to the price of flat Doom 3 is crazy. This is obviously, they put effort into this port. They had to redesign everything for an aim controller and make that work soundly and properly, and that takes a lot of time. And I feel like having all the DLC and everything included, 20 is perfect. I would have paid 30. I was expecting 30.
Yeah,
but 20 is excellent, and they're going to sell way more copies at 20.
I was absolutely thinking $30 at the least. I was not expecting $20, so that was well below. $20 seems like such a steal. And speaking of the work that they've done on this, Dave, this will, of course, include the full campaign, 2 expansions, aim support and DualShock support, no move support. Also, for some of those out there that have been asking about multiplayer, I don't think it's going to have the multiplayer. They would have mentioned it in the features.
Yep.
They would have mentioned it somewhere else. So this is probably just going to be the single player experience with the expansions. However, they also have revamped the weapon detail with the resolution, the textures, the design, as well as sound effects, so that you can actually admire the weapons a little bit more this time, because they are a little dated in look and stuff. So that is, besides porting the entire game into VR, that is one of the things that seems like they've done the most work on, which is redesigning a lot of the guns to be a little bit more updated and shiny and pretty.
Yeah, there's so many factors that come into pricing a game. It's like the fact is they are, yes, it's a 10. You can currently buy it for $10. Like that's, I feel like Dave said, it's almost irrelevant because of everything that has to go into it. And like the fact is, like there's a whole team that has to be assigned to like bringing this thing into VR and redoing the controls and updating the graphics and doing the whole thing. And so there's that element of it, but then there's also the element of like, hey, you know what? This is a niche market. VR is a niche market, and it's not like you're going to be selling it to 100 million PlayStation 4 gamers. You're selling it to a very small group. Like you can't even say 6 million PSVR 1 gamers, because so many of those 6 million have moved on to Quest, moved on to PC, just left it in the closet and don't pull it out anymore. And so you're talking about selling to a very, very small market. And so suddenly it's like, well, how do you recoup your losses if you're going to sell 20,000 copies of a game at $10 or $20? So there's so much more to it than just being like, it's a 20-year-old game. Although I do understand your point, Matthew Longo. he's over there. He's on the $20 island, like just him and I think Nihilist Ryan. It's like, it has to be $20. But I'm reading all of the chat. It's you guys are. I love everybody chiming in and saying what they think here. This is good.
Yeah, George Barbarosi says, wasn't planning on buying Doom 3 because I'm not into it, but for $20 I'm trying to buy it. It's like a huge impulse buy. When you put something like that and $20, it's like, how can you not like want to try it? War Gobble's in. What's up, War Gobble? Steve IRE says no moves is another baffling one. I will admit. Go ahead, Brian.
Is it baffling though? I'm kind of thinking it's not baffling. Look at
I don't think so.
Almost every game. Now, and I don't say it shouldn't support the moves. I think it would be great with the moves. Don't get me wrong. But there's something here. Evasion is an aim game that only has DualShock 4 support. Farpoint, Firewall. I mean, there's the list goes on. So many games that have aim support or feature aim support only have DualShock 4 support and no move support. So it's got to be something where it's like, you know what? You're programming a game for 2 analog sticks and 1 light ball for tracking. And so it's got to be like, well, these are the 2 things that we can do here. Otherwise you're like, suddenly you have to render a whole nother arm that moves and does the thing, and then you have to program the movement scheme with the holding down the move button and pointing. And so it's a whole nother thing to do move support. So that it must be a no-brainer to do aim and DualShock 4. It must be like almost identical to program for those.
Well, the other thing is too, if they do move support, then everybody's going to want, first off the bat, they're going to want manual reloading, which is not a thing that's ever been done in Doom before. People will say, oh, it has move support, but there's no manual reloading. This isn't VR enough. People are going to want stuff like, the 2-handed guns. Almost every gun in Doom is a 2-handed gun, right? And historically, tracking with two-handed guns with the move controllers is really hard to pull off.
Historically,
It's very tough. And so I think that would frustrate people more than anything. Like if you're trying to aim your shotgun like this.
Well, people just don't know how to. People don't know how to get the right setup, or sometimes just don't have the right setup. It's not, it's a technical thing there.
The aim takes all the muss and fuss out of it. It tracks right. It's got all the buttons. It's what Bryan said, I think.
The other cool thing is a lot of the features, a lot of like the menu, health bar, the ammo, the tracker, and everything. This is all they thought about this as well, and they designed it onto like it was like the back of your gun or your wrist or something like that, where it's not like an intrusive like screen. And they mention it's for the max immersion. So I'm not expecting any hands sticking out of your face or anything. And I think they'll do this right. If Doom VFR actually did the moves correctly, I do think it would have been the best way to play. But I really think I know some people like it. Some people don't. Whatever. I don't care. It is. Okay. It could have been. There's plenty of other examples to show. Even another Bethesda game showed you how to do it properly, and it just wasn't. It wasn't as good as it could have been, which is sad because I do think the moves could have been the best option if done right, but they didn't. So I don't even care. Aim controller. Especially with Archaeact, they made freediver, they made swimming, like they had advanced thing, like
they made swimming. That was their idea. Swimming. They came up with that.
Swimming.
Wait, how did I learn to swim before they came up with it? That's
but I'm just saying, like they made a really advanced move controller mechanics and stuff, locomotion mechanics. So I was really expecting them to do this, but no complaints here. Aim support for me all day, every day. The chainsaw with an aim controller. Yeah. Get out of here, man. That's amazing.
And as I've already said, the chainsaw, that's going to feel great. I can't wait to just run around and going,
Brian's going to be running around saying that on his stream.
I'm just going to be screaming Dave Station the whole time.
That works for me, man.
Yeah. I do love it, man. There's plenty of people in the chat talking about how, I saw Mick Cole's talking about how great Alvo is with move controls. And there's so many good first-person shooters on PlayStation VR that do move controls perfectly. I mean, even Arizona Sunshine, like I have been a proponent for move controls in that game for a long time. It can be done, but the fact is it's not being done here, and I don't really expect it to be done after the fact. I don't know how much when you support the aim. I don't know how much you're going to get people begging for move control support. It would be nice because we like options, but we'll see what happens.
It is worth noting, though, that unlike Doom VFR, this does have left-handed move support, if anybody's curious about that, because I know that was a big sticking point with Doom VFR. The Jeff said, yes, of course, absolutely, day one.
Nice.
Left-hand move support, or aim support, is in there. So, good to know.
Now, the other controversial part about this is that it's Doom 3. Now, I don't know how deep down this rabbit hole you guys want to go, but the Doom 3 has always been my favorite in the series. I always felt like it had, there was obviously they had the horror element to it. It had.
I liked it, but no.
What was your favorite in the series?
Ooh, favorite? Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough question because I'm I grew up on the classics, Doom and Doom 2. I liked Doom 3, but it was never to me the pinnacle of what Doom was. But I still enjoyed it because I like horror movies and stuff. And I really liked it. It felt like some cheesy 90s horror movies on Mars that I've played, that I watched in the past. I honestly, Doom 2016 was really big for me. When that came out, when that came out, that revitalized the series for me because they doubled down on the gore and it was something new that was in the gameplay that was good. And so that was a big surprise to me. So 2016, the first two will always probably be my favorite. But 2016 will always be one of the most special ones to me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Doom forever since I was on a 14.4K modem, played with my friend down the street and my mom would pick up the phone and it would kill our game and stuff. I loved Doom back then. I played all the Dooms. I think I've played every single Doom. But the one I would want to pick up and play the most is probably 2016. That's the one that today, if I had to pick a Doom to play, it would be 2016. In VR, though, 3 is going to be giving it a run for its money because that one has such a good atmosphere and it's so horror themed that like it's going to be great in VR. So that one could end up rivaling it in terms of like my favorite Doom experience.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope so.
We'll see, man. Like Doom 1 was super special to me because I'm a little bit older than you guys, and so when I was growing up, Wolfenstein 3D came out, and it was like, I was like, oh my god, like, it's so you know, and then Doom like just took a big fucking boot and smashed it Monty Python style, and it was like, holy crap, this is incredible. And I remember being a kid, I mean, by saying a kid, I mean I was 12, 13, I have no idea, and like playing in my dad's study late at night, the lights off, and playing Doom and being scared of that game. Right, being like, you could hear the monsters and stuff through the walls, and it was just so creepy. And then, you open a door and suddenly you're being attacked, and you're like, oh god, it's fucking happening. And so, so basically, what I'm trying to say is like that this is going to be the first time I'll be scared of Doom since I was 13. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can honestly say, even though I still pretty much enjoyed it overall, I think, well, there were some other Dooms that maybe were meh. But VFR is actually like kind of one of my least favorite Dooms, to be honest with you. They slowed down the pace. They added puzzles. It was a little broken up into parts and stuff. Like I enjoyed it. And then there was like, the move controls and the aim control had the thing sticking out of the head. So, and yeah, I think it was a little bit of a underwhelming, but it's really fun to go back. Like when you replay it and stuff, it's got a lot of great value to it. But the first run is like a little underwhelming.
I love Doom VFR. I don't care about all the problems. I'm just like, this is Doom. I'm in VR. I'm blowing guys up.
It looks fantastic.
Glory smash. Let's fucking go.
I will say it looks gorgeous. It is a stunning looking game.
And what I'll say is that we have been dying for a quality first-person shooter for a while. Like the fact is, there should be a million of them. We should be drowning in first-person shooters, especially ones with like big, long single-player campaigns. Like we have so few of them. In the ones we have, like there's only a couple of any quality. So I mean, this is exciting, man. This is something I wish we had like 4 years ago, and so I'm just glad we have it. We're finally going to have it in just a couple weeks, and I love how they did this. I'm just going to double down on what I said I think last week. I love how they did this. They announced it, and then like less than a month later, here it is. No waiting, man. The hype train doesn't die out. We just talk about it nonstop for a month, and we finally have it. Here we go. I'm excited. I love it. I think we've talked about Doom 3 to death.
Not enough. Not enough. So moving on. Can't wait, man. March 29th, right? 29th?
Yeah, 29th.
Only a couple weeks away, man. Not much longer to wait. So, Zero Caliber, guys. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Wow. Okay.
Dave got that reference. But Zero Caliber has announced, what was it, yesterday? They announced Zero Caliber Reloaded, a story-based military shooter with 4-player co-op, is coming to Oculus Quest and Oculus Quest 2 in Q2 2021. We're extremely excited to bring the blah, blah, blah. And they said stay tuned for more. And so this is a different version of Zero Caliber. However, below it, they put in before PSVR when. We'll soon share more information about the PSVR port as well. Stay tuned. So, I don't know what you guys are thinking here. If we might get the reason I wanted to bring this up was to get some of your thoughts on it. Obviously, most likely, the PSVR port has been a little bit tougher than they thought it would be. Because I think they wanted it originally in 2020, and now we're getting near halfway into 2021 and still have no word. First quarter 2021, and there's still no word on the PSVR version yet. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this, guys. You think we're getting the original game that was slated, or you think there's another version possibly coming to us instead?
I think we're getting the PSVR2 edition of this, because having played this on PC with the controllers with thumbsticks and all that stuff, I can't see it translating very well to move controllers. There's a lot of in the moment action of like doing all the shit with your gun, and I feel like trying to do that and move at the same time with the same controllers. If it was direction based, like most good movement schemes, you hold the button and point where you want to go, what direction, right? If it was like that, it would get in the way of you reloading your gun and all this kind of shit. Like if you're pointing backwards with the move and trying to load a clip in or something, I just don't think it would work that well. It's a very two-hand oriented game. And I think maybe they thought it would work, and then they were just like, let's wait until we have the controller scheme we can use. I'd prefer if they waited, but we'll see.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Red Rover, the effing game cat, with the $20 tip. Says, Doom a favor. Take this tip and buy some pizza and coffee. I will do exactly that, my friend. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely love you. Really appreciate everything you do for us. Yeah, so I do know these guys, X-Real Games, were kind of like waffling back and forth between should we do focus on aim support, should we focus on move support, how is this all going to work, what are we going to do, and I really think that like this is one of those games that would really benefit from both, being able to play through the entire game and have an amazing first-person shooter experience with the aim controller. But then obviously you see in this trailer, like so much of it has to do with like taking your hand and grabbing onto something for cover. It seems very much like what Fract is going to be doing. Just grab on something and then you're kind of like in cover mode, pull yourself around, and then like shooting with your other hand. Obviously, using your hands to climb ladders. All that stuff adds to the immersion. And so you remove all of that when you say it was going to be an aim supported game, and you don't want people playing your game in two radically different ways, getting two radically different experiences. So I can see where the problem lies. I wouldn't be opposed to what Dave said. If I'd actually be really happy if this became a PSVR2 game, so it was able to be a little bit of everything.
I think that's a trend we're going to start to see a little bit, where there's games that had development issues for various reasons and stuff. And yeah, why not? They have that option now. That's why it was so important for Sony to come out and be like, announcing the next generation headset, so people know that they have that as an option now, and dev kits are already going out. So yeah, I'd of course expect them to be probably on the tail end of that, but still, that is definitely a big option. I think that's a valid point for sure. The other thing I was thinking was maybe we get like this Quest version, like maybe to some degree, that's also a possibility. But after playing ATEC Cybernetic, I couldn't agree more that like if you gotta wait, just wait, because ATEC Cybernetic was not good, and I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, ATEC had some interesting elements to it. But yeah, man, like it needed like 6 more months of polish for sure. So do we know if this Quest version is a brand new game or an update for existing users?
What I'm expecting is sort of like In Death and Sirento and all these ones that have like an unchained version or whatever you want to call it.
So this isn't out on Quest yet. This will be launching on Quest as this. Is that what you're saying?
It's a PC only game for right now, in early access, I think still. Okay. Yeah. That's where I played it. But I'm pretty sure, that's probably what's going to happen, what you just said.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. As AJ already said, I could see this happening to a bunch of PSVR games. I think Quest is carrying the weight right now for a lot of developers. They're seeming to be able to sell their games pretty well on Quest. So why not utilize that platform while behind the scenes working on your PSVR2 game and like make a big splash at launch or soon after? I wouldn't blame any developer that has to do that at this point to make their game as good as it can be.
Yeah, for real.
I just saw somebody asked about Pop 1. EAE asked about Pop 1 if it's coming to PSVR. The answer from the developers is yes.
We're spoiling you today, EAE.
Yeah, right.
Spoiled.
They're saying yes. Obviously, they've got probably other plans. Who knows if it's even in development yet for PSVR? But they're saying yes, and so like we just got to take them at their word for this at this point. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm excited for this game, man. And whenever it comes out, or whatever platform it comes out on, I'll be. Yeah.
We'll be hearing more about it soon. Of course, then somebody goes on to reply to them, says, last time you said soon, we didn't hear anything about it until now. That was almost 7 months ago. So
yeah,
called out, X-Real. You gonna take that?
I can only imagine what's going on over there, right? between COVID, between trying to figure out what control scheme to use, probably I'm assuming they probably implemented both, went back and forth, and then they were like, you know what, Quest is killing it right now. Let's get this thing out on Quest, and just shifted gears entirely. I mean, that's I'm assuming that's what happened. War Garble, hell yeah, man. Let's get Jumping Flash on PSVR. What are you doing over there, Sony? Why haven't you brought your number one AAA IP to PSVR yet?
That's why I like you, War Garble.
Intelligent Cube PSVR. I'll take
That
that
too.
too.
Give me it all.
Can you imagine
how the first-person Intelligent Cube you're running? They're like, oh my god, it's fucking smash you.
That would be great.
Me.
I would definitely play Intelligent Cube again. Nick the Game Cat House, as soon as 2 years in PSVR time. I agree.
Yo, quick shout out to Nick the Game Cat How, who just proposed to his girlfriend recently, and she said yes.
Whoa,
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
Congrats, man. He told me on my stream. I was like, he told me this on while I was streaming, and I was like, wait, did you just propose during my stream? I was like, because this is like the highlight of my career.
He's like, hold on, babe, I got something to ask you, but hold on, I gotta wait for. Okay. So would you? Yeah.
See, it would have been the highlight of your career, AJ, if he asked you to ask her on your stream.
Oh my god!
Oh
right.
wow.
So while they're both watching your stream together,
I'm not picky.
Not that romantic, but yeah,
I would do that.
They'd have to really like me. I don't think so.
Next time I ask someone to marry me, I'm going to use AJ as the middleman.
Whoa!
next time.
Whoa!
Right.
No. Ixnay on the airy May. All right, so yeah, potential PSVR 2 game, but really we just got to wait and see. Really, the thing about here is that it's news that there will be news soon. Maybe, hopefully, there better be. All right, but moving on, another PSVR 2 discussion. Now, this one, the developers did come out and say this. This was in an interview with the PlayStation Bras. Guys I don't know very well, but they talk about PlayStation VR a lot on Twitter and stuff. I know Mr. PSVR does stuff and they do different things, but they had an interview with the a very interesting discussion here with Deep Type Games. You know what they make Hellsplit Arena, and this is a game that I've been going kind of back and forth on. People have been always asking me, when is Hellsplit Arena coming out? Is it coming to PSVR? We thought so at one point, but then it was like their wording was weird. And then we found out that they actually ended up getting rejected by Sony, is how they made it sound. Now they're back again with this interview, and they sound like pretty confident that they are going to be coming to PlayStation VR in some way or form, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is exactly the case. This could very well be the case, same case as Zero Caliber. Right, because they took a look and they were like, you know what? I don't think this gets talked about enough. Getting your game to run on the OG PS4 in VR can't be an easy task, right? It's like, sure, the Pro is easier to do. Sure, the PS5 is easier. You can always patch those for, to make them look better, to run better, feel better, to do everything better. But man, it's like, if you're a small team, it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially if you have this like thing that you developed for PC, where it's like you kind of have unlimited specs. It's just like, well, we're just we're basically programming for the mass majority, the number of people who we want to play this game. But ultimately, you can just program it however the fuck you want. And then when you have to downgrade and downgrade and downgrade and downgrade and downgrade to the point where you're like, man, this kind of looks like shit, right? And like some developers just don't have that, either the manpower or the coding ability to be able to like really make something shine on PSVR like a lot of other developers have. And I don't want to talk for Deep Type Games. I doubt that they got very far into their PSVR version, if at all. But the fact is, I think they were probably at the point where they were like, we should probably start developing this thing for PSVR now. And then Sony announced PSVR 2, and they went, well, let's just do it for that. Like it's gonna be a year and a half before we get it out anyway. We might as well just do it for the system that's gonna be more prevalent at that point. So I think there's two sides to it, and I think both of them play into what happened here with Deep Type Games.
When asked about what kinds of versions they're working on, and if they have plans to bring it to 2021, they said, quote, currently we are more focused on PSVR 2. Insider information reveals that the second iteration of the Sony headset matches better with the specifics of our game. Unfortunately, according to our information, the release of PSVR 2 is not expected until next year, so players should be patient. I can't help but get the feeling here, Bryan. And these guys are, there's no doubt that they 100% want to bring it to PSVR 1 or 2. They would have brought it to PSVR 1 as well. But I have to really take with this with a grain of salt. I think it is much more probable that they do end up bringing this to PSVR 2 instead of the current headset.
At this point, I would say 100%. Like that. Yeah. Otherwise, they'd be talking about their PSVR 1 version rather than saying, oh, well, we're looking at PSVR 2. I love that they were like, we have insider information that says it won't debut till next year, and it'll be more powerful than what we've got now. I'm like, so your insider information is the exact same information that we all have, like, on our screen from Sony themselves? I was like, well, that's some pretty fucking inside information there, Deep Type.
Don't tell anybody, but I heard the PSVR 2 is, like, better than the first one.
Right. Pretty good stuff, man. Like, I wanted to call him out on my breaking news report and make a joke, but I was like, this is going to come off wrong, as it probably just did now.
In all seriousness, I admire these guys for their persistence and their unwillingness to give up. Like they just refuse to back down, and they keep fighting. They keep fighting. So I hope we eventually get to experience their game. Also, I've heard this game is really fun. Maybe we should mention that. It's a medieval arena fighting game. Was supposedly, and it's supposed to be pretty good. So
I know there's somebody in chat who's played it, because I know some of our PCVR folks have checked it out. I haven't myself yet, but I've heard good things from the people who have. Real quick, we got a £5 donation from my guide, who says, you 3 Musketeers, I like it, are doing God's work. To all in chat, I love you all. And then a little Vulcan salute.
Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. My guide, you said, right? I'm sorry, I'm on a different page right now, so I can't actually see the chat.
Yeah, my guide.
Thank you, man. We really appreciate your support. I want to, I was looking over here on the Steam store because I was looking to see if we could get a little bit more information about Hellsplit. Because one of the things I love, I mean, that I really want in Swordsman VR, is like potions and like a reason to like explore the environment and that kind of stuff. And obviously there may be some like, 1v1 sort of stuff, which I think 1v1 is where we draw the line on what we're going to find in Swordsman. Alec has definitely been like, oh, co-op is totally a possibility, but 1v1 is, going to be way too difficult. So just watching this trailer, it's nice, man, because it sort of gives you the Swordsman vibe, but like, some extra features that we haven't quite seen yet. So it's already got dismemberment. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. Well, looking forward to this one for sure.
These arenas look great too. It's like you're shoving people into spikes and stuff. This is what I've been asking for. It's like, yeah. Sorry.
That's true.
I'll stop talking.
Yeah, I have seen. Yeah, there's a lot of people that like to mess around with the physics and stuff in this.
Yeah, this looks good. I'm just gonna sit here and watch the trailer. It looks so pretty.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
There's another game that is supposedly coming to PlayStation VR very soon, guys. Very soon. And Dave, I don't know if you're if you're ready for this one.
Am I looking at the list? No. I'm not ready in that way.
It's called the Gadgeteer. And
Go.
It's a puzzle game, guys.
Hey, oh wait. Here's the drinking game.
It's a little early, isn't it?
The game was.
Every time AJ says puzzle.
That's right.
It's a Gadgeteer is a physics-based VR puzzle game. Build creative chain reaction machines to solve fun, intricate puzzles. I can't wait. Your machines will use gadgets to launch, bump, twist, and turn, creating chain reactions that may even end up tearing apart the fabric of space-time. Now that sounds better. That sounds more like it.
Sounds like they're overselling.
Watch the trailer right now.
It will tear open space-time, you guys. Right. That's a puzzle game.
If you ever ask me. Like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah,
it's just a Rube Goldberg.
That's essentially
machine.
what it is.
Tear of open space and time.
But I mean, did you guys play Domino Craft on PSVR?
I did. Yes, I did play Domino Craft.
Right? I watched Just Incredible play,
and I forgot about it until you just mentioned it. But
Domino Craft is one of the many games that I wrote the entire review, got all the footage together, did my voiceovers, and then said, I don't feel like.
Why the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I put all the work into it, then just didn't follow through. This looks like a way better version of that. I mean, dominoes are fun and everything, but like, Rube Goldberg machines are way more fun.
Yeah. Do we already have something like this? We don't, I guess. I'm surprised we don't have some little budget.
I mean, fantastic
know,
contraption.
Yeah,
sort of a
incredible.
thing.
Fantastic
Yeah,
contraption. You're right.
Brody,
Yeah.
Brody said the Incredible Machine VR.
I really liked. Do you guys remember what was it called? Super Amaze Balls.
Super amazing.
Super Hypercube?
Yeah.
I loved that game where you just like turn it around. You just got the thing. It was super cheap. It was really fun.
It was all right.
But for what it was, I thought it was like a good time.
What was he?
I got yelled at when I streamed it. I don't recommend streaming that game.
Yeah,
the chat was yelling at me like, "Turn it off! Turn it off!"
It's not that bad.
What's the VR one Brody said?
The Incredible Machine VR.
Oh, this is weird. Like, I feel like I got a key for it, and I never played it.
I think it came out in like Europe, like at like one time ago.
Yeah, so I think
and it never came out.
We literally found the one PlayStation VR game I haven't played. Oops, sorry.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a lot of fun. This looks like, and what I like the most about it is that you can share your stuff, man. You can create your things, and then you can share it online, and you can just kind of like, Dave's favorite part about that theme park game, was it Roller Coaster Dreams?
Yeah,
was going into seeing what other people had created. It's like, so maybe if like, spending 1,000 hours setting up like lots and lots of dominoes and stuff isn't your thing, then maybe like kind of exploring what other people have made be kind of cool.
Real quick, Void Citizen, who I know tries a lot of PCVR stuff, says Gadgeteer is good. So he has tried Gadgeteer.
Good.
His review is that it is good.
Void likes
Farpoint.
amazing.
Pretty
Void
decent.
likes Farpoint a lot, so his opinion is pretty valid.
His opinion is usually pretty good on most stuff.
Yeah,
we trust Void.
Except Immortal Legacy.
But his golf swing, I'll tell you, he's not too good at that golf game.
I'm learning all sorts of things about Void. I had no idea. Do we have a release date for this?
No, they've been teasing on Twitter. I'm sorry, on Reddit. They did post it on Twitter, say that they'll be sharing an announcement very soon. It came out in 2019 on PC or something, $14.99. But yeah, coming to VR soon. They just had the 1.0 release trailer. We'll be announcing release day very soon. PS4 and PS5.
So AJ, just want to let you know that everyone in chat thinks Super Amazeballs is a good game.
Good. I just said it's a bad game to stream.
Okay,
I said it's fine. I mean, it's okay, but
yeah, it's good.
It's a horrible game to stream. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it says the guy who did the music for Gadgeteer is on the Discord. Brody says.
Yeah, he dropped in last night, man. I was just about to go to bed, and he dropped in, and I immediately recognized the name, and we chatted him up. We were talking about AJ's favorite puzzle games, because right now he's got a PSVR headset and a PS4, just on loan to him right now.
Okay.
And so he was checking, like, while he's got the headset and everything, he's usually like a PC VR guy, and he wanted to check out some of the PSVR exclusive stuff. So obviously we were like, trying to point him in the right direction. If you're not part of the Discord, man, make sure you click that link in the description or the one that Rody just posted in the chat. This like, I'm not kidding, man. It's like I wake up, I brew some coffee, and then I sit down and see who's on Discord. Sit around, shoot the shit, and then like by the time like late night rolls around, there's a bunch of people in voice chat, like just hanging out and talking, and I'm always there, man, hanging out with them because I don't know, while I'm doing other stuff, like while I'm scripting things or like trying to edit like monotonous videos or whatever, it's like it's just fun to have like conversation going on, especially now. It's like when I don't see anybody and I haven't seen anybody for a really long time. It's a really nice place to hang out. All right, man. Well, what's Gadgeteer looks fun. This definitely does not. I'm gonna say this is one of those games that like it's gonna be real hard for me to get excited about until I play it, and then once I play it, I'm gonna be like, this is so much fun. I love sitting here and like setting everything up, but like watching a trailer, it doesn't matter how good your game is. I'm not gonna get excited about it just like sitting here watching it.
Oh, you know what this means? You guys know what this means? That's the
it's
7 o'clock.
Scottjestico's birthday.
Scottjestico.
Where's Tree Guy?
You get Tree Guy. I was like, wow. It took me a second to realize what was going on. I'm like, what the hell?
I just figured he was getting a food delivery.
I did too. I thought it was like food delivery or.
I guess I should turn that alarm off.
Everybody in the
Amazon.
chat, please wish happy birthday to Scottjestico, PSN.
Hell yeah.
We love you guys so much. We love celebrating birthdays. And if you got a birthday, make sure you make it public, man. You know, I'm one of those people that's like birthday rolls around. I'm like, you don't know until like 3 days later, and you're like, was Brian's birthday recently? But man, it's like I like celebrating other people's birthdays quite a bit. So make sure you let us know, and we can.
Yeah, screw my birthday, but
Absolutely.
other people's awesome. I also like celebrating people that get PS5s. What up, T1? Congrats on your PS5, homie.
Hell yeah,
Scott, this one's for you, and for all the times that AJ already said puzzle. Cheers.
Hell yeah, man. What up, Miles?
Speaking of Scottjestico.
Oh, Miles Dyer, what's up? Haven't seen him forever.
Scottjestico, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cap for life. The £5 donation saying, it's my birthday in UK, so have a slice of cake on me. Passing
I don't
everybody
like
a ninja
cake.
slice of cake.
But
Do you
I'll
like
have
angel food cake? Angel food cake is the one cake I
aim
like.
controllers.
Oh.
So I'll have aim controller.
I feel like angel food is only good if you put stuff on it.
I like kind of like bland, spongy, kind of sweet stuff. So I like just straight up angel food cake.
Ice
And
cream
Arlen
cake.
Theodore with the $5 says, "Happy birthday, Scott." Thank you,
Oh,
Arlen
man.
Theodore. And once again, happy birthday, Scott.
I'm starting to get the
Big
impression
old-
that Arlen Theodore is not the Arlen Theodore that I know. Like, I'm not, that's what I'm guessing.
Maybe he's secretly our nemesis in disguise.
There's got to be
Yeah.
because the one I know in real life doesn't actually like me all that much. So I'm like, maybe this could
He just really likes Scott.
right.
He loves Scott.
This could definitely be a different Arlen altogether. But thank you so much for the donation, Arlen and Scott. And nice. Oh man, is there? Did I miss another happy birthday? There's other birthdays in the chat.
Happy birthday,
Everybody's
Thom.
saying happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Anybody else happy birthday? I didn't see that.
All right, cool.
Thom.
Somebody said, "Oh, okay, forget it. I'm good. All caught up."
All right, so moving on, guys. We sat down with Blake Stone from Vitruvius VR. If you are not aware who they are, they made a little game called Shadow Legends.
Sorry, Brian was right. There is another guy, Thom Serenity, in the chat. And
Serenity
apparently
now.
as well.
Tom Serenity birthday now. Happy birthday, Tom Serenity.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Oh, yeah, man.
everybody. Whose birthday it is today.
Right?
Yes.
And also happy birthday to whoever's birthday is tomorrow, because Fridays I'm like sort of missing in action sometimes on Fridays. Usually by the end of GameScast, I'm like, I'll see you guys in like 30
We all
hours.
need to take a day off after GamesCast, dude.
For whatever
I
reason.
should tell my boss, like, Fridays are no good for me. I'm just gonna Friday.
Also, Monday through Thursday is not so hot either.
Yeah, just pay me for whenever I feel like working.
So we had Blake Stone, who made Shadow Legend,
True
awesome game, and he shared some news with us about his next project that he's working on. Now, we had kind of known a little bit. I think that he had mentioned like maybe it was a sci-fi open world game, but he went into greater detail, saying things, dropping bombs for me, man, saying things like it's inspired by Souls games, that it's gonna have melee weapons that are like made of lasers, and we'll have guns as well and variety and stuff.
Yeah, this is totally unprompted. Like, he almost said too much. I was like, dude, you don't have to say all that. Like, we didn't even ask you about the game. Like, we asked you about yourself. And he's like, here's all the details I could possibly provide about my new game. And it was like an info dump, which was awesome. But like, I was like, damn, he's telling us everything. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like AJ said, the weapons sound really interesting. Like, maybe customizable, maybe a little bit more of an RPG thing going on, like
Right.
some more depth than Shadow Legend.
Interactive
about-
thing to it. It sounded like he was making it sound like interactive too, like not just, oh, I'm going to dump these points into here. It sounded like you're going to physically be doing something to upgrade those items and stuff.
Yeah.
So he talked a lot about the size of the environments being like way bigger in scale than what they had before. I think he said that their new levels are like 5 times as big as the biggest one, 4 times as big, something like that. And yeah, really interesting stuff there. Hack says, yeah, I feel like that dude revealed so much. He was just going crazy, but it sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the last time we'd really sat down and talked to Blake was just over a year ago after Shadow Legend came out, and we sat down, we talked about him. He was talking about like essentially saying that he was basically focused on next gen, and that his game was going to be a sci-fi open world game, and so that was amazing. Like I know like developer interviews are not the most popular thing on the channel, but it was amazing to see him speak so openly about it a year ago. And then on Viewer Takeover, this is a great reminder, guys, to like, if you don't watch Viewer Takeover, you should really check out Viewer Takeover. We've had awesome developers on for the last month, maybe 5 weeks or something. I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, it's not just us answering the same 5 questions anymore, if that's why you weren't watching it. We have another person every week to help us answer the same 5 questions that we get over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. Everyone we've had on so far has been great. We had Tiffany in the chat was on. She was a ton of fun. And then you guys also should check out are you still calling them Why We Love or no?
Yeah.
PSVR. Okay, Why We Love. Because those have everybody from the community now. So Betty's been on there and Aceville's been on there. And everybody's so interesting and fun to have on the show that I really like that new format you're doing, Bryan. Thumbs up.
Nice. Yeah, it's been really, really fun to mix it up. So if there's any shows on the channel that you've been skipping or whatever, just go and check them out. See if the new formats have changed anything, and see if you're interested in them. But really, Viewer Takeover is, in my book, it's the heart and soul of the community, right? It's not only do we do Viewer Takeover introductions where people send in their Viewer Takeovers, their intros, you actually see some of the cats, but then people who change their name, we give them a shout out, and all the Patreon supporters, of course, and then questions from the community itself, and then having the insight from an actual developer, rather than it just be 3 gamers like us. It's really nice to have a fourth voice who's saying, well, from our perspective, here's why things are different, or here's how this question applies. So it's really, really nice. So let us know if the new format's working for you guys. Check it out. But yeah, Blake was awesome, dude. It was so nice for him to join us and speak so openly about his game. And so just to clarify, as Dave was sort of saying, it's not an open world game. It's going to be big open areas. And he was saying picture the courtyard with the house, with the dungeon that's attached to it, with the whatever. Picture that all being just one area instead of divided up into load screens. Because I think the load screens were, the load screens were, I wouldn't say an issue. It wasn't Iron Man length load screens, but they did sort of compartmentalize the game, make it feel a little bit more fragmented, and to be able to do this without that is going to be pretty cool. So. Yeah,
the Dark Souls that AJ was mentioning was less about the combat and stuff or the difficulty, and more about the way that the world is structured. AJ, you're on mute, by the way. But going between worlds, there's those fog walls in Dark Souls, and it kind of transports you to a different area.
Right,
it's not exactly open world like an Assassin's Creed game is, but in a way you can explore things at your own pace sometimes and take on this thing that you shouldn't be able to take on yet. If you find the right place to go. So I think that's how it's going to be open world-ish. But, yeah. Oh, Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with a $10. Pass you a Ninja Slice with a side of broccoli.
Side of broccoli.
You know what? Donatello, I haven't been to the barber yet, but I'm not afraid of cutting my hair, okay? I didn't realize that was against me. But not against, but towards me. Went over my head.
Did we miss Red Rover?
We did, yeah. Yes. His $5 tip with the birthday suit.
Yes, Red Rover, the effing game cat with the $5 tip, earlier said, "Happy birthday, Scott. I'm in my birthday suit on March 22nd, and it's my birthday on the 22nd, too."
When is he not in his birthday suit? I feel like every time he's watching, he's just sitting there buck naked, spread out on the couch, just watching this on YouTube.
Joe is, he's got so much personality. I wouldn't be surprised if he wears a birthday suit every day. Because he's just that awesome. I
was way too old, by the way, when I figured out the meaning of birthday suit.
Really?
Yeah, people make jokes about it all the time. It's but until somebody explains, you're like, oh, I thought there was a thing, people wore birthday suits. Yeah, get dressed up for your birthday, man.
Yeah.
But all right, man. So he mentioned a lot of there might be some similarities here with Shadow Legend that we can look forward to using their experience. I'd like to see them improve the combat a little bit because I feel like Shadow Legend, the weakest thing was maybe, besides the length of it, the combat. But everything else was
that too, though. I think he knows after seeing Swordsman and other stuff like that. He's aware,
right,
of how it could be improved.
Gameplay is king for me, man, and that's, you want to win my heart, gameplay is gonna win my heart. Also being inspired by a Souls game. But no, it'll be really interesting though. They've expanded the team to twice as big, so bigger areas, like you said, a little bit more exploration. I gotta say one thing, I think open world is better for VR because it keeps you immersed, right? There's never a moment when you're in an open world where you like are sitting in a loading screen, stuff like that. But I am actually a big fan of open area as well, because I think you can get big open areas that you spend lots of time in, and you feel like you're there, and then you get like, you go to the next section, you feel like you get a little bit of a break. So those do work as well. I think one of the first games that I really liked that did that was Final Fantasy 12. Yes, I'm one of the few people that like that game. But it was like they were open area, but they were able to cram so much, and they were still big levels. So I've always liked that. I've always been cool with that design in general.
I don't want to miss the most important part of this story. When we asked Blake about his upcoming game, which, upcoming is a relative term, obviously. So don't be like, oh, where's your game, Blake? Where's your game? I guess he's not going to make it because we haven't heard about it in 3 months. It's going to be a little while. But he said, basically, when we asked him, like, what platforms he was shooting for, he said, at a certain point, him and Colton and the other 2 new members at Vitruvius had to make a decision. And they had to say, like, are we going to go for PSVR 1, or are we going to, like, hedge our bets and assume that there's going to be a PSVR 2, and that's exactly what he said. That they decided they made that decision. They're glad they went that direction, and they're because when you start planning a game like this, like basically when they were planning Shadow Legend, even though it came to PC first, they had PSVR in mind, and so basically when they were like creating it, that's why all the places are relatively small, because they wanted to make sure it could run on the OG PS4 in VR. And so when it came to the planning stages for this, they were like, well, do we do this again, or do we shoot for the stars and assume that Sony's going to announce a next gen VR headset? And luckily they did. So this is technically one of our first PlayStation VR 2 announced titles that's been announced for PlayStation VR 2. And that to me is so exciting. When the Hellsplit Arena developers start talking about PSVR 2, when Vitruvius starts talking about PSVR 2, that to me is like, man, it just feels so much realer after the Sony announcement. Sorry about all the sirens, guys. Is it? Yeah, it's loud over the.
It's very loud. Downstairs or something. Someone in my apartment building.
I'm sorry.
It
just feels more real to me. That's what I was trying to say. It's like, yeah, Sony can announce it, but it just feels way out in the distance right now. But when you hear about people developing games for it, that makes it feel really like so much closer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games in the back of my mind. I mean, I can think of so many that have talked about, hey, we're gearing up for our next project without saying anything else. There's so many that I can think of. I'm just like, these are absolutely coming to PSVR 2 in the future. Absolutely. And this was one of them. This was definitely one of them. And such a talented team too. Be nice, be a longer game and a little bit more fleshed out and stuff, have better tech to work with. It should be amazing because they did a great job with Shadow Legend. Big fan.
And there's some interesting discussion there too about what a PSVR 2 dev kit might look like, because the PSVR 1, when it got sent out to developers, was the unit, right? I mean, he said when they developed for it, he bought the unit himself retail and plugged it into a dev kit for PS4. Right. And I have to wonder if they have a PS5 dev kit sitting around and how that's going to work, if they're going to get one or if they're going to have to buy one day one like they did before. Hopefully not. I think Shadow Legend is sold well enough that they've increased their cachet a little bit, and Sony will probably be like, hey, you guys can have one before time. But dev kits are almost always just like weird boxy versions of the thing that don't look anything like the final product.
Yeah.
But with a VR headset, you kind of have to have all the pieces there to make it work properly and fit properly and be comfortable and stuff. So I feel like the dev kits will really closely resemble, if not be almost the same exact thing as what we see with PSVR 2.
Well, this kind of leads us unintentionally into another whole conversation, and that is, if developers are going to be getting the PSVR 2 dev kits, and they are very likely going to be similar to what the PSVR 2 will ultimately look like, when Sony will want to get ahead of those leaks too. Like, it seemed like the only reason they talked about PlayStation VR 2 was because they were about to send out dev kits, and so they were like, well, we don't want it to leak. They want it to come from us instead, not us, them. You know what I mean? And so, do you think that that another announcement from Sony is imminent? If they're like, hey man, we just sent these things out to devs, and like now we want to show you firsthand what they look like, so that some leak doesn't get dropped on Sony.
That was very interesting, Dave. You're on mute.
You'd have to be real stupid to leak that thing. I mean, you'd never get anything from Sony again if you were the one who leaked it. They'd cut you off. They'd blacklist you. Like, you don't want to be the indie dev who leaks what the PSVR2 looks like.
But there's also plenty of ways to do it anonymously, right? You just drop it on a...
Yeah, I suppose, but...
Yeah.
Sort of. But, man, yeah. That was one of the most interesting things that he had brought up in that conversation was... Like you said, with developers getting kits, yeah, are we going to actually see what this thing looks like sooner than we expected because of that? To prevent the thing, unless the dev kit looks different. But like Dave said, how do you make it look drastically different than what it's going to release? I mean, I understand there could be like, there's probably a lot of different things, but it might give them like there could be a basic, I've heard about some prototypes that have been going around, but even those, from what I knew, like didn't even have controllers for them yet. So who knows?
Yeah.
We got a tech spec breakdown that we're going to do at the after all the news. We're going to make some predictions on the hardware that we're going to see in the future. But yeah, long ways out. No reason to get super excited just yet. But still, we just want to know everything that's going on all the time with PSVR 2. And
I disagree. I want to turn my excitement up to 11 and leave it there for the next year.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do that better, but you'd be like, oh, I'm so tired of it. No, never mind. Anyways, yeah. Anything else on the thing? You go watch. You can hear it from the man himself. Go check out Blake Stone.
Yeah.
And hear it from his own mouth and give you some great information. So, in other news, there was a developer that posted some gameplay onto Reddit, and all they said was, "Would you play this game?" And that game is called Hyperstacks. Now, I would love to see the chat answer this as well when Bryan shows you the gameplay, which I believe he will. And Bryan and Dave, would you play this game?
Well, somebody was just talking about Jumping Flash, and I saw a little bit here when they went first person that looked a little bit like Jumping Flash. The guy was falling straight down through a bunch of stuff where he had to maneuver. And when they give you that first person view, it looks like it'd be a lot of fun. The weird thing is they show so much of this in third person that I'm not sure why. But
I commented to them about this. I'm like, if it's in first person, hell yeah, I want this.
It looks like it is.
And he was like, he responded to me. He was like, of course it's in first person. I was like, what? There's lots of third person footage, man. Like,
it's just trailer stuff. I think he's just trying to show in context, what your character's doing and stuff. And I actually like the little character models. They've got a kind of charming, simple but charming vibe.
AJ, you should have responded by saying, "I won't understand what this game is unless you do a mixed reality trailer."
No,
I want to see myself floating through the environments like this.
God, I think mixed reality is great for content creators and streamers. It is terrible for trailers. It is so bad for promotional trailers. Stop doing it, people.
Yeah.
Good God.
I love those adorable hands in this trailer, man. It does look like very Jumping Flash. It looks like you're not a human. Probably some kind of robot or something, but it's adorable, man.
I like what Scottjestico says here. He says Super Meat Boy mixed with Tron.
A little bit.
I mean, it looks really treacherous. There's a lot of spinning saws and laser beams and enemies and stuff. So I could see it being really difficult, like one of those super hard platformers, like Super Meat Boy.
This is my kind of jam right here, and it looks great. It's for another one of these first-person platformers and stuff, but looks really vibrant with the colors. I'm sure it's crisp looking. The gameplay looks good to me. The very neon stuff. I think
it's a design levels together thing too. You can do custom levels, and it said together, which is an interesting concept. Design levels together implies some sort of collaborative multiplayer thing.
Was this the one? I think that this was one where you can make levels, make courses and stuff. Well, that would be in the boss fights. Yeah. If
you look at the image that they show at the end, like the kind of promo Hyperstacks, thing you would use for promo materials, whatever. There's a bunch of different robots on it that each look like they have different personalities. And if those are if it is a multiplayer thing, that'd be cool if you could each have your own character, work on stages together, play them together, stuff like that. We'll see, but looks better than Squishies, I'll say that.
There's boss fights. It's exciting, man. It's really good platforming and boss fights, and intense in first person. I'm sure. Like, this is a little bit sprint vector, a little bit to the top, but somehow looks kind of different than either one of them. And especially if there's boss fights, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I would absolutely play this.
Chat's a little divided.
I see that. I also would like to know what Donatello is asking. He says, "Why is it called Hyperstacks?"
Yeah, I don't know.
There's shooting in this game too. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't harp on this one too long because it's not even announced to be coming. But they were asking, so I wanted to bring it up and just see what the general consensus was here. It looks like I said, definitely looks a little mixed here. Some yes, some no.
Yeah. Everything's better in VR. Watching it on a flat screen is like, okay, but I feel like I get the idea here. I'd be down. Now,
it is on PlayStation VR though. Oh, good.
You know what? I can't tell what's going on here anymore. I can't tell if you're designing. So I can't tell. Are they giving you a level and you're platforming through it, or are they giving you a level and then your creations, you're like placing things to allow you to be propelled through the level?
Well, Dave kind of brought that up earlier. It's like you can share levels and like make courses for each other and stuff. So
if you guys are interested in this at all,
what it look like?
Squirrel Bites, the people who are making this, have a YouTube channel where they have a ton of footage of like going through the development process, showing how certain things work. There's one that I'm looking at now called Speed Level Design Plus Gameplay, which is like a speed run of him making a level and then testing it out. Now it's showing in third person, which is weird. I assume that's just, he switches back to first person. Okay. Yeah, there's a ton of videos of like showing off little aspects of the game on their YouTube.
Okay. All right.
Which I will post in the chat.
All right. So I guess I was reading too much into it then. You're not actually placing things. You're are
placing things. I mean, you can. Yeah. It looks like there's both.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys look at this and you decide.
What I can appreciate is that they just showed like a full trailer edited together, because there's a lot of people I'm seeing that are just posting little tiny clips of games, kind of, this like Wanderer game, and we had seen like some stuff of Ven VR, and there's just other things, and I'm just like, thank you for at least putting together an entire trailer, because I'm really tired of seeing these little tiny 5-second clips of just something out of context here. It's like I would rather just wait and get like a minute-long trailer at this point for a lot of these indie devs.
Well, don't you?
No mixed reality.
Oh,
no
shit.
little clips.
Jordy Britt, shout out. Turned 60 in January. Can you be too old to be a gamer? I say no. I think we'd all agree with that.
No, keeps you young, man.
Oh, I can't hear you guys anymore. Hold on a second.
Well, don't you worry about Wanderer VR. Don't you worry.
Oh,
don't you worry. Good. We will have a full trailer for that soon enough, my friend.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So let's move on from this one, because again, they're just testing the waters. Not even a confirmed PSVR game. But you know what it is, a confirmed PSVR game, Brian? Swordsman VR.
I've heard of that. Yeah, for sure.
The top 5 downloaded game of last month, Brian. Top 5. Amazing. Amazing. No, but Swordsman VR has given us an update, Brian, and why don't you tell us what that is?
I mean, on their Discord, they basically said that within the next 3 weeks, we should be getting the... I keep calling it the Pirate Horde map, but I know that there's more to it than that. Well, we can probably get into some more detail on that in a second. But we are getting that in about 3 weeks. And also the thing that everybody's been waiting for, and that is the dismemberment update. We're to chop dudes' limbs off. Finally. I hope it's also... people have been asking for this, but we haven't really gotten into any details about exactly what's being delivered in 3 weeks. Do you think there's going to be decapitation and just like blood and like arms and limbs flying everywhere? Like you chop somebody's arm and it's like just like goes flying off. Like how crazy do you think this stuff is going to be? Is it going to be like silly, over the top Gorn style, or is it going to be like, if you just hack away for long enough, like eventually the arm like comes off and blood spurts out? I don't know.
That's a good question. I would think, yeah. I mean, I would think maybe decapitation and limbs at the very least, are like arms and head is usually the first that I see. I'm still waiting for somebody to kind of make it so you can chop off a leg and they go all Black Knight on you. But I really think that the dismemberment in this game is a big game changer. Like, especially for like that zombie mode. Like, I'll play the hell out of that zombie mode with dismemberment, or just the regular mode itself. Even I enjoy the physics and gameplay of this game a lot. So I really think dismemberment is a huge game changer for this. Will be.
Yeah, I guess it all kind of depends.
Check.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear
me?
me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can
Okay,
hear us.
I was having audio issues. I can hear you now.
All right, fantastic.
Good. All right.
That's great. While we've had this little break, I want to clarify something for Julia, the game cat. Q4 2020 on Ben VR Adventure was like basically just for PC. Monologic kind of came out at the last minute as they were releasing the PC VR version of Ben, saying, "Oh, by the way, we're only working on one platform at a time, and like PlayStation VR is a ways off." So I'm sure we're going to be hearing from them in the next.
Quest is their next one or something.
I think that's the case. So we're probably going to be hearing from them in a few months or something, being like, "Hey, we're on our way." Blah 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 blah. But yeah, they updated us at the end of the year and basically said, "Sorry, it's going to be some time." So yeah. Yeah, man. Dave, what do you think of what the question?
Swordsman dismemberment, because he was away for a second. Swordsman dismemberment and pirate update incoming. They're aiming for about 3 weeks is what they're aiming for.
Right.
Okay, so the pirate update needs to be set on the bow of a ship or something. Like, you need to be able to look out over the sides and see the ocean, and it should rock a little bit. Like, you should be up on the pirate ship when you're fighting the guys, right? That's my first thought.
I hope the pirate ship is rocking, man. I hope it's rocking.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be cool if it's rocking. You gotta move with it. There's swing.
Are you not afraid that would make people sick?
I don't care. I want to do it, man.
I mean, I want it too. But if people naturally get motion sickness from boats,
it was more like I want it to be set on a pirate ship. It doesn't have to be rocking.
Right.
But like, I want a battle wake environment while I'm playing Swordsman.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
But also, before you move on, what the cause boss battle showed us was how cool some of the environmental effects can be when like how the arenas can actually alter and change while you're playing. And I think it'd be great to have something similar with the pirate ship, where it's like lightning is striking and like either
a big splash of water comes over and
right, maybe like two pieces of the ship are like falling off, just like the glacier in Claw's battle. Like, I mean, there's so many things that they could do with this.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah, and as far as dismemberment goes, I mean, I know everybody's been hounding them to get that in there, and it's exciting they actually have it. I'm curious to see how they implement it.
That's what we were talking about in your absence, man. Do you think it's going to be over the top, goofy, like Gorn or like Mortal Kombat, or do you think it's going to be more realistic?
No. I don't think it'll be realistic. Like, you have to repeatedly hack through a guy's arm, like, chop a little bit, and then he's like hanging by a thread, and his arm is just like hanging off the side, and you got to give it the final little thing, or like you don't finish the head slice all the way through, so he's just like hanging like fucking.
Decepticon said slide down ropes.
Yeah,
but
right, that'd be great.
It'll probably be pretty simple. Like, if you've done enough damage to a certain area, there's like a final hit that'll lop it off or something like that, or just hitting the angle just right. With an exposed, if you got an exposed neck and you have a really strong sword and you get them just right, I could see that being just like pop the head off in a fun sort of way, but not super cartoony, super gory, because the game doesn't really strive to be that silly,
Right.
But it's trying to be pretty straightforward.
But the physics engine can make it accidentally goofy, right? Like,
absolutely.
He's like pounding away, and like the dude's like boom, boom, boom. He's like, it can.
Well, I mean, that's
be
VR
silly.
in a nutshell, really. Like, the physics engine can make a serious game really funny.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering. It's like, is there a way to do this and have it not be a little bit silly, a little bit goofy?
Let's start with the armor update, because like that makes it harder to get to anybody's actual flesh, right? And so how am I going to cut somebody's arm off if I can't even get through the fucking armor?
Well, I'm sure this would be an on-off switch, just like the armor update will be.
Okay.
It is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they don't work too well in conjunction with each other. But man, like there's a part of me that wants this to be like really fucking crazy and over the top, just like have blood spurting out and like have limbs just like all over the arena.
Braxton B is right. He said, "What do you mean not silly? You fight Santa at one point." Fair enough. Fair enough. It is a little silly.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be like that. I mean, maybe it'll just be spurts of blood, and we'll see.
I like that. But pirates, guys, pirates. Probably new area. Okay, I know a little bit about this, but I can't say anything. I don't know what I can say, what I can't say, so I'm going to tread very lightly. But pirate DLC, woohoo!
Are you a fan of pirates, AJ, in general? You a big pirates guy?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I was very critical when Pirates
I'm
of
glad you didn't say yes, because if somebody was like, "Yes, I'm huge into pirates. I love pirates. I have a Jolly Roger behind me and a flag on my wall," I'd be like, "Yeah, that's a little weird."
I'm probably more of a sci-fi guy, but I love
me too.
I love pirates though. I mean, who doesn't? I like water. I like the ocean. I like skeletons. I like krakens and
I think my
ships
favorite
and
Assassin's Creed was the Black Flag one.
Definitely
That
my
was
favorite
pretty
one
fun.
too.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that one.
Guys, just for clarification, we got one Musy boy in the comments of my breaking news report who clarified for me, because he's active over on the Sin Studio Discord. He said, if anyone wants more information on Swordsman, join the Discord. The developers are super active. P.S. The pirate horde map Bryan's referring to is actually a new set of levels on a new stage with a pirate faction plus a boss, as opposed to a horde stage. It's confirmed. It's confirmed to take place on a ship with new weapons, new player armor, and new type of boss weapon. So thank you for that clarification, one Musy boy. I appreciate you keeping me in line.
What do you think the weapon's gonna do? Think it's gonna summon a kraken?
I want a musket.
Maybe.
A musket?
Yeah, I want to be Musket Man VR instead of Swordsman VR. Musket Man. Yeah, why
Musket
not,
Man.
Like again, like this game, I just
Running
want
out the cannonballs.
I want Sin to go crazy with this, right? I like they've got this like solid platform for a game, and now I just want them to blow the doors wide open and be like, yeah, here's some laser guns. Why not? Just like, let's just have fun with it at this point. I mean, yeah.
I gotta say, if anybody's doing timestamps and wants to know like when the show starts going off the rails, I feel like we're about there. We're almost there right now.
Oh, I thought that was like 2 minutes in.
It might have been, yeah.
3 weeks, roughly. 3 weeks, guys. It's really exciting. Dismemberment for me was one of those things where it's like I thought that it was going to be one of those requests from the community that would be asking, like, when is this going to happen? When's this going to happen? And then like, and then Alec would be like, yeah, we're testing it out. We're behind the scenes trying it, and then it would never happen. It just seemed like too much of a change from what he was working on.
A lot to ask for.
And then, but the community was like so vocal about it that it became a priority for them. And
do you think
now it's almost here?
This is a dumb question, and I know, nothing against Alec, of course, but do you think if enough people had said, "Hey, you need to put multiplayer in Warzone," that he would have gone back and actually put multiplayer in it?
No.
Well,
this game specifically, he is listening to like all kinds of feedback, incorporating everything he possibly can, constantly updating it, constantly working on it. Whereas the previous games were just like dropped and left and not even finished. As much as Swordsman was, and he didn't go back and work on them. It's probably due to sales, I would assume, because nobody bought Warzone. Hopefully they listened to
not
us.
The case, actually. But Warzone sold amazingly well, and if it wasn't for Warzone selling, we wouldn't have Swordsman.
That is fucking weird to me. That's
Warzone
like, it's
actually
like
saved Sin Studio.
It's like he robbed a bank to make a good game, kind of, because Warzone didn't deserve any money at all.
But the true story is that he felt remorseful because he felt like he was getting paid to he was making money while he was learning. Like it's like working an internship and getting paid for it at the same time. So it was a little weird, but he felt bad about it, and we got Swordsman out of it. And
and to answer your question, Dave, like
his heart's in the right place.
Possible, like unfortunately, it was like just the way things worked with the multiplayer in Warzone. It just wasn't possible. Even fixing the single player AI wasn't possible. It was just like this is what it had to be. So he either released a broken game or didn't release it. And luckily, it sucks.
Made enough money to get a freaking game out.
It's nice that we can look back in retrospect and be like, well, at least it got us here to the point where like Sin is a viable company. He's hired more employees. They're already working on their next game. They're still working on this game. Like there's so much happening over there. But it's like and so it kind of sucks to be like, well, if it wasn't for Warzone, what should have been the last nail in the coffin, that none of this would have existed. So it's really tough, man. But Dontel, the Scientist Game Cat, with a $5 tip summarizing it all, says, thank you, all that fell on the sword and got Warzone because I love Swordsman. That's a pretty good summation.
I
right
hope
there.
I didn't pay for it. I might have paid for it. I don't know.
I don't think I paid for it.
I probably did. At least I did pay for it. At least I supported. You know, I screw that game, but I at least like supporting them over there at Sin Studio.
Now I like supporting them.
You're welcome,
It's a good
basically.
game.
You're
At the
welcome
time,
is what I'm trying to tell you.
At the time, I was like, don't buy this. Don't support this shit. This is terrible.
Yeah.
He's the only developer, I think, who's had such like a ugly duckling story with us. You know what I mean? Like where we were like, fuck these games. These games are a ripoff. You shouldn't purchase this game. Warzone is a complete, just like, shouldn't even be listed on the store. It's a scam.
It's
almost.
supposed to be
We've
delisted.
been pretty harsh on a lot of games.
We've been really harsh on him.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, now Swordsman is out and he's been really forthcoming and been like, you know, I fucked up. I was learning. I fucked up. I'm getting better. And he is really trying to make up for it. And so I feel like that's really rare. Like we haven't seen that from many other devs where we just shat on them all day and then suddenly they're, you know, in our good graces by earning it, essentially, just by earning their way back in. So Alexon's a cool guy. I like him. Yeah. I like his studio at this point, as long as they keep going in the direction they're going in now. So.
Yeah, and guys, big plans for the future too. Like that is a studio to keep an eye on. You know, Swordsman is quite a stepping stone for them, but like talking to him behind the scenes, they have big plans for the future, which is really exciting. I know I'm excited. All right, guys. What's
all right, so moving on. Now this news was originally broken from Upload VR, but I'm just using the official website. And that is Turbo Button's next game. They have announced Floor Plan 2. It's a sequel and has some new features and stuff.
Rare to see a sequel in VR. One of the few sequels we've actually gotten.
They should have called it Floor Plan Episode 2 just to shut everyone up. They should retroactively gone back,
break the curse,
and called the first one Floor Plan 1, A New Hope, and then called this one Floor Plan 2, Live and Let Die. I mean, they should have done it. But did you guys like Floor Plan 1?
It was fun. It was decent. I mean, it's a small slice of a game, but it was good.
It felt like a $6 game.
I wasn't I really liked. I thought it was charming, and I liked the whole elevator idea of it. But at the end of the day, it was a puzzle game, Dave.
Oh shit!
And it wasn't a special puzzle game to me. So I honestly could have lived without it, but it like wasn't bad. Like it's not. I wouldn't call it a bad game, but it was just like meh. Could take it or leave it. Wouldn't make a difference to me.
Here's the thing I'll say. The first one definitely had the stink of mobile origins all over it. You know, it started as a mobile VR headset. I think it was like either Google Daydream or Go or something like that, like a really early proto VR thing. And then they patched it, you know, brought it over to PSVR and stuff. And it was decent, but you could tell it started out as a mobile game. I think this one theoretically won't have that stigma or that feeling about it because I'm hoping it's being designed ground up for hardier like VR headsets, PSVR, PCVR, maybe Quest even, but at this point, Quest is nothing like a Go or a Daydream headset. So it could be a lot better than the first one. We'll see.
Yeah. The first one, again, it came out during a time where we were just desperate for games. And so pretty much anything we got was like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on this and just play it and like see what they had to offer. And I thought, I mean, it was a $6 game. I think it only takes like an hour, maybe ish to beat. And I thought it was fun. You know, it had like this really weird sense of logic that reminded me a little bit of like Lucasfilm adventure games back in the day, where it's like you got to use this thing on that thing to make this other thing happen. And yeah, but you never left the elevator, so it felt really restrictive. And so sometimes you're just like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing right now? And like you're like, am I supposed to be able to see something I can't see? And I don't know. And so this basically saying, hey, you can leave the elevator. It's like, oh. All right, that's a natural progression for this series, right?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, what you just put in our chat here, or AJ just put in, a series of connected escape rooms. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Step onto each floor, explore, and meet bizarre characters. This is interesting to me. Revisit completed puzzles to find new remixed challenges waiting for you. So there's some replayability there. It's not just the same thing if you go back and replay it. Good thing to know. And yeah, built exclusively for VR, of course. This could be pretty good.
Braxton B says it comes out the day after Doom 3. Bryan better distribute his time wisely. Just a heads
Oh,
up,
no.
it's not coming out the day after Doom 3. It's coming out, we don't know when, later this year. Similar to other announcements we've gotten recently. Floor Plan 2 is coming out on other headsets on the 1st, I believe, and then just later in the year for PSVR 1. I did talk to Holden over there is it Turbo Button, the developers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a robot.
And he did say he's like, it's coming soon for PSVR, like later in the year. He's like, it won't be weeks, more like months. And so like he didn't even make it sound like it'll be the end of the year or anything like that. So just a few months out. We'll see what happens. Level of excitement for this?
It'll be fun and charming. It's not going to blow anybody's mind. Probably.
Out of what? What's the scale here?
1 to 11. 1 to Good Dog, Bad Dog to Doom 3 VR.
Close, right in the middle, closer to Doom.
You're going to give it a nice Mage's Tail?
I'll give it a Mage's Tail.
Going to give it a Mage's Tail out of 11? Okay.
Sure.
I'll give it like a super amaze balls out of 10.
Nice. I like the idea that it's a series of interconnected escape rooms. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more my thing than the first one was, because I love escape rooms, and not being stuck in the elevator is really going to make that a little bit more interesting. If this was coming out on April 1st with the rest of the headsets, I'd be way more excited for it. Again, this is like the Doom 3 thing, where it's like, just don't.
I don't care when I'm playing Doom 3. No, sir.
But it's like, but for me, it's like, I don't tell me about a game like this until it's almost here. You know, like, I mean, like, because the hype train can only last so long for what's it called? Floor Plan 2. That's crazy. I was like, elevator action? That's not right. So, you know, it's like, this is going to come and go, and people are going to stop talking about it on other platforms long before we even get a PSVR release date. And so I don't know. I'm kind of bummed about that element of it, but I am still excited to play, because I think that these guys are good, man. They made Along Together, that kind of Moss Light, we'll call it. Adventure game.
It was pretty good. It wasn't real bad.
I didn't like that very much.
You didn't
What's
like
bad
that?
about it?
I like that quite a bit.
Charming.
That was boring.
Okay.
I didn't think it looked very good either.
You're like, it's not Mosh, not good enough. Don't compete with Quill. Quill can't handle the pressure.
You know what's funny though? These do have a little bit of that point and click adventure style to them, which I do like, and I think why you like this a little bit more,
For sure.
Brian. It has that feel about it, a little bit of that point and click adventure thing going.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll keep you posted, and I'm sure people who are going to play it on other platforms will tell us whether we should or should not be excited about it. And maybe I'll play it on Quest just to kind of get a jump on it and be able to tell you guys about it when it comes out, or I'll play it with my Quest on PC.
Now, so something really exciting also came out. You guys ready to move on? I'm sorry, I should have set that up properly.
Absolutely.
We got a sneak peek, first look gameplay. Here comes the energy levels back up again. Me getting excited. Bit Planet Games showed off the first footage for their sequel to their next game, or I don't even know if it's a sequel, but it's their next game, and it looks like a sequel, spiritual successor to Ultrawings. Let's go, Ultrawings 2. And they've been teasing us a little bit, and they've been really, really conservative about like showing off lots of footage, but found a little bit more out. But first things first is this new footage. Brian, I don't know if you have it, or if you need me to send you a link or anything for it.
This was just the short thing they showed on Twitter, right?
Correct. There's more though that I found, but yes, mostly yes.
Okay, well, you didn't send me that, so we're gonna be a little light on this. Yeah, I'm sure I have it somewhere. But we'll get there. You guys do your thing.
I'm looking for the tweet now.
Okay.
So just go to my Twitter and scroll down, Dave.
I'm going to their Twitter and scrolling down. It took me way less time. Oh, I did see this. This looks awesome. Yeah, really, really polished compared to the first one. Still just as colorful and vibrant. I think that was the big thing with Ultrawings 1. Like, even though it was really low poly and stuff,
Really
it
low
still
poly.
looked pretty good because of the art design and the color scheme and all that. Like it popped a certain way, but this looks way more realistic, way more cool. There's obviously some gunfighting going on here. He's like shooting at a thing on the bridge.
Right. It looks like tanks or something. I don't know.
Or like a truck or like a semi he blew up. I don't know, but
I
yeah,
emailed it to you, Bryan, by the way.
liking the look of this quite a bit. He has teased a lot over the past few years on Reddit of like having helicopters in this one and all sorts of new stuff. If you guys haven't played Ultrawings, that's one of the best flight sims we got on PlayStation VR, especially if you have a HOTAS. It is a ton of fun with the HOTAS, and back in the day, I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, what do you guys think? This looks exciting to me.
I think it is the closest thing. You absolutely nailed it there. It is the closest thing to a legit flight simulator, and that's what I loved about it. The gameplay was so much fun. The physics, everything felt really nice. To me, the drawback was the way it looked. I know we were very forgiving, because it was like an earlier on VR title, and it did so much, like open world and all this stuff. But I do think that it kind of like, visually it wasn't the most pleasing, but everything else it did really well. It had tons of missions, tons of challenges and stuff, and lots and lots going on for it. I actually like this game more with the moves instead of the HOTAS.
Really? I'm not a huge fan of the moves. I like the HOTAS quite a lot.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think the majority of people would agree with you, but I, for some reason, really liked the in-game flight stick and the throttle and, beeping all the boops and booping all the beeps before you go. And, I just really liked it. It worked really well. It was so smooth. And, it's a great game. It's like one I'm very still on the fence to like recommend to anybody. But I really think it was something special. Secretly. Yes, I've gotten the stunt plane, Nick. And that is one of the cool things about it. There is like a great progression system. You unlock different planes and stuff. One of the drawbacks of Ace Combat 7 was, besides, being very limited, was there was a free flight mode, and that free flight mode didn't have anything to fly in between, fly around, to do stunts and stuff on. And this game did all that. It had like little cities, and I'm really happy to see that it basically looks very similar, except now it has like just slightly better looking environments and stuff. That's a big thing for me.
Is that what you're looking for out of this game? Is basically Ultrawings but with better graphics?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit, obviously you get a little bit more than that, but that's all I needed.
I want some quality of life stuff because like there were some really frustrating parts of Ultrawings that most people would kind of bounce off of, like between the islands when you're trying to go to new missions and unlock new planes and stuff. There's this really, really, really long stretch of just like you're over this really low poly ocean. Nothing's going on. You're just pretty much just fucking waiting for like 5 minutes to get to where you're going to.
Yeah.
And there's not much fun flying going on. Nothing to do on the way. So I really, really hope that they kind of speed up those transitions between areas or have a fast travel system or something like that.
Totally agree.
Because that was the only thing that really kind of turned me off from finishing the game. I was like, progression takes so long to even get to the next place, to start the mission up. And that could be streamlined a lot. Otherwise, though, if it's more of the same but better, sign me up.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much
at the
more
minimum. That's what I mean.
Yeah, there's so much more they could do with this formula. Basically, like, to eliminate. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that big stretch of ocean between where you are in the land, in the island or whatever. To like once, I'm exploring this big open world. I'm trying to find like little different airports that I could take over. Right? I really enjoy the parts in this game where you're flying around and you're basically flying with one hand and shooting with the other, like shooting the balloons down.
Yeah.
And it would be really fun if they took that to the next level. I feel like I'm always saying this recently, right? I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto, like doing drive-bys and stuff. This is something apparently I just really want in VR. I want to be piloting a vehicle and shooting with my other hand. And this game lets you do that, but you're only shooting balloons. It would be so cool if there were other airports, and like the way you took control of those other airports is if there were planes flying around like guarding it, and you had to shoot them down, and then suddenly that airport was yours. And then once you discovered it and took control of it, you could fast travel, boom, 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 all around the place. And so like that really long stretch of ocean that you're talking about happens once, right? The first time you discover this thing, you're like, man, I really hope there's something out here. And then you discover it, and you're like, oh man, this was worth the trip. It was worth flying over the ocean for 5 minutes. I found it. Boom, 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 boom. Shoot down some planes. Take over the airport. I mean, I'm asking for a lot here. I know. I'm just basically developing my own game on the fly.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really cool.
Good.
And I mean, it looks like this game is going to be less cartoony in sense of like, this isn't a guy with a little bloop bloop handgun popping balloons. This was like a warplane shooting something on a bridge and like blowing it up with like real fucking guns, you know? And I think that could play really well into what you're talking about. If it is a little bit more like, okay, this area is guarded, I got to go take these guys out and get in. That'd be super fun. I would love that. And I think actually it'd be better if less of it was island oriented, like there was a big stretch of water between anything. Like it's fun flying over land because there's something down there to look at. Yeah. And like there could be little bases or cities or runways or stuff like that sprinkled throughout your trip between one big point to the next big point, like little side mission things, instead of just that big empty space between everything.
There's so much potential for this. There's so many ways you can do things you can add on to this to make it really awesome. And you know, the core foundation of Ultrawings is what I really liked. I thought it was fantastic in that regard. But I agree with everything you guys are saying. You know, some kind of game loop, some kind of, you're going over here and you got to travel to this new place, and you know, at the very least, just make it look really nice. But it would be really cool to have like little missions in between. To hey, you're going from this area to this area. You know, have some pilot wings action going on here, some targets rings to fly through in the meantime, or some enemies to shoot down. Different just
wings for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just different mechanics to add in between and fill that stuff out. You know, like Dave said, it doesn't all have to be ocean. It doesn't all have to be open ocean. There could be beautiful stuff to look down at. Now, there is one more thing I want to add on to this. In their Discord, they showed a little bit more footage, another teaser of equal caliber, pretty much. And it seemed to me, guys, that this one looked like a helicopter that they were in, and it was in the middle of a city.
Like I've said, he's been teasing helicopters for years on Reddit. Anytime this game, he's been dropping little hints. He dropped like a concept art of a helicopter at one point, I think, in relation to this, and asked people how they felt about it. That's going to be interesting because, like, I don't know, we've never flown a helicopter in VR, especially with a HOTAS. That'll be cool. Have we? I mean, I can't think of one.
Drew pointed out the music in this too. Yeah, this was definitely a game you have to turn the music off and put on Spotify or something.
Oh yeah,
that repetitive, that one music track that it's like some kind of like salsa beat and just repeats over and over, and it's just like, oh my god, your eyes fall out of your skull.
Yeah.
Jetpacks, yes, Braxton. Jetpacks and hang gliders. Oh my,
hell yeah,
absolutely, man. Where the fuck are the jetpacks? This game is begging for it. I want to be able to eject out of a plane with a jetpack, let the plane go down, crash and burn, and just and then shoot motherfuckers while I'm falling.
I'll give you jetpacks on this one because this actually would make sense to have jetpacks.
Just this one,
but you know, there's a game there's a game that has amazing jetpacks, Brian, that you should check out more often. Just saying.
What game don't I check out?
Your jetpack fantasy is not as far as you may think.
I just want all games to have it. I'm not saying no games have it. I want all games to have it.
You just want every game to have it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, never mind. Resident Evil Village. Jetpacks. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I stand corrected.
This is fun.
So Iron Man, the Game Cat says, so Iron Man.
This is fun. I think BitPlanet makes good games, or at least a good game so far, and they did a great job with it. And I kind of like, man, that I kind of like that they've been somewhat quiet. They showed off like one screenshot, was it over a year and a half ago, something, and they showed off like these tiny little clips. Because it's like just when you're ready, man. Like when you're ready to debut it. And I kind of, again, like just like the Farpoint thing, I was talking about how I really like how developers are teasing us. I think it's fun, man. We don't get enough of that anymore. Like I love speculating. I love guessing what the next game is going to be like. Instead of just being like, here you go, it'll be out in a year. Coming to Quest next month.
Twitcher says jetpack drive-bys.
Yes. Now
your fantasy is complete.
Absolutely.
Yes, Atmos knows what I'm talking about here.
I'm concerned about Gabriel's comment. Birthday suits.
It's the drive-bys, the without parole story.
I'm just picturing all of us in our birthday suits, and I'm trying really hard not to picture that actually, because
Everyone's
it's disturbing.
You set off the cats, man. Everybody's just naming random games with jetpacks now. Super Amaze Balls with jetpacks.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay, squishies. Okay. Truant Pixel.
Hey, what's up, Truant Pixel? You know, guys, funny enough, people were talking about football games in here earlier, and we were shouting out 2MD, and there were some people who hadn't heard of it. So once again, like I said before, if you haven't heard of that game and you're into a football game in VR, Truant Pixel are the guys who made that.
I legit have thought about 2MD VR football like 5 times tonight, especially when we're talking about developers that have run into the hardware limitations of the PS4 and PSVR 1. Truant Pixel came to mind because they had the 2MD. It was like it was 2MD. They just did like some rebranded version of it, and it looked like a lot more fleshed out and stuff. And I remember bugging them back in the day and being like, "Hey, we're gonna get this," and they were saying like, they just don't think the hardware can handle it. There's too much overhead on the PS4 OG. So that is another one that I've kept in the back of my mind. That is an awesome football kind of arcade simulator thing. The best throwing mechanics that I can think of on PSVR. I mean, it was so
PSVR. Usually PSVR throwing mechanics are not very good, but they feel pretty good. And I'm not even a football guy, but I enjoyed that one.
I am, and that is I used to be, but damn good football game.
Gabriel says your shoulder will be sore, but the game is not bad.
Yeah, especially if that platinum's hard to get. But yeah, man, what's up, guys? We also True Pixel while you're here. While we got you, when we need you to make dynamic themes for PSVR2, please. We know you guys are the ones to do it. I talk about your dynamic themes all the time. It's good to see you guys, man.
Very good to see you guys. It took me all this time to find the 2MD trailer. It almost crashed OBS, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I had to just go in because I literally was thinking about them like so much earlier, so I had to mention it.
AJ thinks about 2MD football at least once a day.
Think about Truant Pixel a lot. How much I love my Mega Man theme, dynamic theme. Excellent. My Tetris Effect one. Yeah, you can thank them for all of those.
Well, Truant Pixel, we can't wait to see what you're doing next. But in the meantime, I think we need to move on to our next news story.
What do we got next, AJ?
All right. So Beat Saber got an update, guys. You think it was the multiplayer? You think it was the multiplayer? Psych! No. It wasn't the multiplayer, but it added some new modifiers to the game. There's still no update on the multiplayer. I know that's what everybody's waiting for.
Well, the update is they're working on it. They said we're working on it.
Right. Well, there was no. I mean, the update. Yeah, the update to the actual game though that happened was the modifiers that they've added. They've added a bunch of new things. They've added small blocks, certain like precision slicing modes. And a new Zen mode. Yeah. And did you guys? I asked you guys to do your homework last night. I said make sure you guys. You did. You get a gold star, Dave.
I've actually been playing a bunch of Beat Saber the past few days, trying to get back into a more active. Because I think I mentioned I hurt my shoulder a few months back, and I was like not really doing much active VR stuff. So I kind of put Beat Saber on the wayside. But yeah, I hopped back in the past week or so. I've been playing, and I got to say these modifiers don't add a whole lot. I do like the tiny blocks. First of all, because when you see them, you'll laugh a little bit. You're like, oh my God, they're so teensy. It's kind of fun. And you think to yourself, there's no way I'm going to be able to hit these tiny little things.
Yeah.
But what you realize soon after is that you can. It's just fine. It's almost like a better version of a precision mode than the precision modes are. Because with the precision modes they've added, it's just like they give you less leeway for cutting the block, but everything visually appears the same. So you just do what you normally would do, and then it doesn't give you the hit, right. Which is just frustrating, actually. It doesn't add to the fun and excitement of it. It just makes you be like, oh, how come they didn't like the way I hit it? it's more to just like perfect your form than to increase the fun of the gameplay in any way. But the small blocks, I think, do make it kind of fun. I would say that's my thumbs up of a modifier to try out. Fastest song, whatever that is, 110%.
Super fast.
Super fast. That's pretty intense as well. That kicked my ass. So some people might want to try that out. That's a new one, like an ultra fast mode. But yeah, I don't know. Brian, did you get a chance to try these out?
I did, yeah. I'm actually playing a video in the corner of the screen here, comparing the normal blocks to small blocks. I did the same song on both just to show the difference. It's shockingly hard to tell the difference on a video, but in VR, they're super small. Like they seem like they're like a quarter of the size. And what's funny is
even smaller than that.
Even smaller than that, yeah, maybe like I don't know, a 6, an 8, I don't know, something like that. And so the space between blocks is way greater. But as Dave said, it still feels normal. Like you're still swinging and you hit most of them. Shockingly enough, what was funny to me was going from small blocks back to big blocks, because then they seemed almost comically large. I was like, these blocks take up like the whole screen. How could I possibly miss? Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so I think small blocks is actually really, really good training, because once you go back to big blocks, you're like, how could I do poorly at this? This is ridiculous. So yeah, I was a big fan of small blocks. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was the one that I gave you guys the heads up on. I was originally coming into this, ready to come into this conversation with an angry rant. I'm still going to get this angry rant off my chest. The Zen mode, man. They say, oh, new modifiers and like all this stuff. The one that caught my attention was Zen mode. I was like, yes, what is this? This sounds like something I would like. I thought it was going to be like a trippy kaleidoscope filter. And then like, you slice the block and like a rainbow, it like fades out to a rainbow pieces or something. But Zen mode, you guys, is literally just the blocks taken out. The one fun thing I like in Beat Saber, the best thing about Beat Saber to me, they took it out. Like I'm going to sit there. I know maybe this is for what? Yeah, the game.
They took the game out.
They took the game out of Beat Saber, like the best part. And to me, I know maybe some people might like this, but to me, absolutely not. It was like, this is such a waste of time. To call this an actual mode is like feels almost like an insult, because it's just like, you guys didn't do anything here. You just removed the blocks.
Yeah, and they took everything out. Yeah.
I had my sabers ready. I was like really excited. I'm like, what's this gonna be? And then like they even give you the sabers too. So I'm like, why? Because there's nothing you can even slice in there. So like I had my sabers up and ready. The music starts. I'm like, let's do this. And then it's just the flashing background and the music. And I was like, I wish I would have recorded my reaction, because my reaction was just like, you just see the saber slowly fall and my head points down. And I was just like so disappointed.
What I really want to see? So I know Delirium Drew has been working on getting his mixed reality setup going for streaming, having himself in the game and all that stuff. And Beat Saber is like a big one that people do that with. And they'll always post their mixed reality, 100% expert plus, no misses, whatever. I want Drew to do some mixed reality of Zen mode, 100% no misses for all these songs where he's literally just standing there in mixed reality for 3 minutes, not doing anything. Just like sitting there, kind of like checking his watch, getting a text.
Yeah, to me, this doesn't seem like, a horrible offense or anything. To me, it seems like something that I'm shocked wasn't there since day one, because it's a modifier. It's not like a new game mode. It's just a modifier. It's like, hey, do you want to just listen to the song and like watch the flashy backgrounds? There are entire games that you buy that is the whole thing. It's like, it's just the experience of being there. And so it seems like a natural fit. I can't believe it took them this long to add a little checkbox to allow us to do this. I'm not irritated by it, but I literally went into the first Linkin Park song. It was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna be able to swing my sabers and just swing my sabers and listen to the song. And I got halfway through the song. I was like, I am bored out of my fucking skull. Like, there's no reason for me to be here at all. Like I could just turn the song on and close my eyes, and I don't need to be swinging sabers around.
I will say Zen mode on BTS is probably more relaxing and better than the game Perfect, because I do like that sky landscape that you go through, and that's kind of a relaxing, nice looking landscape. So I feel like that might be a little better than the game Perfect, but that's the only good thing I can say about Zen mode. Oh, we got a big tip from Donatello, the Scientist GameCat, $4.99, and he says, You can't reach Zen until you enjoy nothing. Good point.
I like nothing.
He's very enlightened.
I am one with the aim controller. Also, Julia, the game cat, says that's like taking the blocks out of Tetris for Zen mode. Now, here's the thing. Tetris Effect does have a mode
Now that you
where
mention
you can take up. Yeah, it does have a mode. However, exactly. However, it's much more like there's much more stuff involved with it. Like there's actually some interactive elements to it. You control the progression of the song. There's like all these different playlist settings and stuff. The music is better for like sitting there and actually listening to.
Well, and just visually, like you can have things happening instead of just going down a track that's basically the same the whole way through. Like, you know, you'll have a big whale fly over you, and then a second later you're in a desert, and then you're, you know, whatever. Like it's much more interesting.
There's things other than flashy lines and lights that you miss playing Tetris, and it really it was just much more quality and polished in the presentation, so it worked a lot better. Now, I've not even done with my rant about this yet. So that's Zen mode. Big disappointment to me. I don't like it. Shouldn't we? Also, I totally agree with what Dave was saying about the other modifier modes. The precision or whatever angles thing. It's so redundant to me to do this, because the way you play this game is like they already have this mechanic where if you slice down the middle, if you make better chops and everything, then you get more points for it. That's how you get the SS rank. So it's like it was already part of the gameplay. If I miss a block, I'm missing it completely. I don't usually I don't know, but it just seems redundant to me. Now, finally though, the small blocks mode. Every single update they've had that has a visual and gameplay changing element to it, I have liked. The colored sabers, the custom color sabers, custom colored backgrounds, and the ghost notes mode. I love this. And so the only reason I'm not really going off on an angry rant is because the baby blocks mode. They're so cute. They're so nice. They're so fun. I like the baby blocks. They're just called smaller blocks, but yeah, they're little babies.
I like that they're experimenting. I also like Bryan from the VR grid right now. He says, "My name is AJ."
Hell yeah! What's up, Ryan? I've been watching him.
I very seldom give a thumbs up to Ryan over there, but I give you 2 thumbs up, my friend. Did we get Mutant Fox's tip? I'm sorry.
We did not.
I was responding to DMs while you guys were talking. Mutant Fox with the $5 donation says Tetris might be interesting without the blocks. In fact, yeah, it is. It's more interesting than Beat Saber without the blocks. That's for sure.
It is, but I still couldn't like get into that mode either. Like I liked that one, but 5 seconds and I was like gone.
And I understand the audience that it's for, right? I mean, I guess if you just want to like chill out and meditate and relax and stuff, like there are full on like meditation, relaxation, like virtual vacation type things. That
VR with 2 Ps. Didn't we talk about that recently?
Perfect. Yeah. All sorts of things that you pay for. It's like, and these are just extensions of games you already own. So I'm like, I'm fine with it. It's just not for me personally. So, I got nothing.
Man. No, I was happy with the small blocks notes. I think it's really fun. It's really challenging. It visually looks different, and it showed me something new that I haven't seen before. And I tried to capture some footage, and I was so pissed, Bryan, because I was going to capture you some footage here, and I had like the perfect run going, and it was perfect, and then I freaking hit the menu button and stopped it right in the middle, and I was like, and I like ruined the whole thing. Then I tried to restart it, and I was just messing up all left and right. And so I'm glad you at least were able to get some footage here. But yeah,
I ain't no slouch at Beat Saber. I can capture footage. Right? I didn't play Expert Plus though. I will say I captured about 15 minutes of footage, and was trying to get some Expert Plus footage for you guys. And I'm out of shape, man. And by out of shape, I mean I'm out of practice in Beat Saber. I'm also physically out of shape. But that's not the point. I'm like, I am out of practice big time, and I need to get back in, because even the Expert Plus songs I was able to do before, I'm starting to like kind of lose my grasp on. So I need to get back in, practice. I think the delay on multiplayer has taken a lot of wind out of my sails. I don't know if you guys are ready to talk more about multiplayer and move on from the stuff we got today. But if we are, then what I want to say is that they part of today's update for non-VR, or I'm sorry, for non-PSVR gamers was like improvements to the multiplayer stuff. And I'm really hoping that they are working on making multiplayer better, more engaging, more interesting, more combative, I guess would be the right word. Like instead of just like fighting each other for the best score simultaneously, I hope it would be nice if you're able to affect other people's games while they're playing, depending on how well you do. And I'm hoping that that is part of the holdup for getting to PSVR. I'm hoping that they're trying to make the actual multiplayer mode better before we get it. Do you guys think that's a possibility?
Maybe. I think we'll get what they have on Quest when we get it. I don't think it's going to have different modes and different modifiers and attacks and all that kind of stuff.
No.
Maybe down the line, once they roll improvements out like that are not just like tweaks and, you know, enhancements, but like features and modes. Hopefully, once they have the multiplayer down across all systems, they can roll those out at the same time across all platforms now, you know, if they have the framework there. You know, because all the other updates we get the same day for the most part. So it'd be nice to see that as well.
I think the one thing I maybe expect and that could be possible is that we get the next OST, the Metal Pack, along with the multiplayer update. I think they're going to try and combine everything into one big package, but I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if they're capable of doing that.
At this point, I'm just going to start miking the sirens. I'm going to be like, I'm sweet over here. Here you go. Next to the window. You guys can listen to the sirens instead of me. They're constant, man. It's constant. I can't believe I get any sleep around here. All right, you guys. So yeah, fingers crossed that we see that multiplayer update soon. Beat Saber or Beat Games did say that, you know, they'll keep us posted. It's the exact same message they've been giving us since what, October?
Yeah, I thought we'd have it by like late January, but
well, they did say January if all went as according to plan, and then like January came and went. Now it's March, so things didn't go according to plan, I guess.
Julie the GameCat says aim assist would make more sense for a Zen mode for Beat Saber than taking the blocks out, right? If you're just sitting there and just you like hold your arms up and the blocks actually come to your sabers. Come on, man.
Come to
you know you love it. All right. Bryan, you want to tackle this rumor real quick? And by tackle, I mean squash it.
Sure. Why don't you tell us what the rumor is that surfaced? Where did this rumor surface, first of all?
It looks like this rumor came from NeoGaf, and it was posted about. I saw some people talking about it, but it was talking about apparently from an internal source of the marketing department of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. This person's claiming that they read it. Oh, I'm sorry, it came from 4chan, and. Even better, right?
4chan?
Yeah. It gets even worse.
Right. Where the truth goes to die on the internet.
Yeah. I don't blame you, Dave. But yeah, apparently somebody is claiming that they overheard a meeting, and they're saying that Naughty Dog is working on a game called Strays Cross, and it will be a new IP, a sci-fi AAA created by Naughty Dog Studio for PS5 and compatible with the PSVR2. A short clip shows the protagonist with a first-person view during a shooting as he crosses portals that lead to different eras. From modern to Egyptian, from futuristic to prehistoric. And although the publication date of this new IP has not been finalized, the studio is doing the utmost to create an experience as interactive as possible.
So
I don't buy it.
So many things about this I have a problem with.
Yeah.
The fact is that they overheard this and then overheard a meeting and then actually was able to see somehow a short clip of this stuff.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
But I'll say the one thing that makes me go, maybe, is that Strays Cross. Like what a fucking random name. Like
Strays, that's not a good Naughty Dog kind of name. I mean, maybe a working title or something. But...
Maybe, but that's what makes me think it could be real though. It's like if you were making up a leak, which there's no validity here. There's absolutely nothing that makes this any different than one dude sitting at his keyboard going, I'm just going to make something up about Naughty Dog in PSVR 2. Done. It's like there's no validity here. But Strays Cross, coming up with a name like that where it's just like, it's got to be something related to the story that, like, obviously we don't know. If this was real, then this seems like if I don't see like just some random person coming up with a name like Stray's Cross.
I mean, it's
Brian, for being such a
software name. Stray's Cross. It sounds like that's from software.
There's already a game that Sony premiered called Stray.
Right,
that's coming out, and you think they're gonna have a first party that's called Stray's Cross? Like, I don't know. Do they also have a game coming out called Horizon something? I don't know. It sounds dumb to me. It sounds like a bad rumor. The one thing that is disappointing about this, though, is that I like what it says. Like, I like the fake description. Well, I'm not going to say it's 100% fake because you don't actually know, but I think it's fake. But I do like the description of going through portals and going from like modern to Egyptian to futuristic and prehistoric times, especially Egyptian. Like, I just really want a game where it just throws me out into like the middle of the Egyptian desert or something. And, you know, that's why I'm really on board with that Uncharted idea. I'm like, please give me the Uncharted trilogy remastered for VR or something. But yeah, I
definitely don't want to spend too much time on this. It's one of those things that is fun. You know, it's fun to like speculate. It's fun to be like to like dive into any rumor that comes our way. But there's just not anything. Like, if dude managed to take a screenshot, like a photo or something, like if you would capture like anything, even if it's a blurry image of something being projected on a screen, I'd be like, oh look, this looks like it could be the Naughty Dog office. Like, but it's again, there's nothing. It's just one person spouting random bullshit that, if it's real, didn't provide any source whatsoever. Didn't provide any reference to the fact that it could be real. So I don't know.
So the last thing I'm going to say on this is that, like, we have learned, although some stuff we do kind of know about what goes on, but usually Sony has been like a fortress for the last couple of years. They don't leak games and stuff like they used to. I don't think so anyways. Like especially like first party stuff. You know, there has been some incidents that have had some reason behind it, but it's never been some random dude sitting on the thing. You know, there's been so many rumors and stuff that have come out lately. I'm really just taking them all with like I'm basically dismissing them unless they have some kind of like, oh yeah, I can see that. You know, I could see that making sense. Nothing about this makes any sense.
I mean,
to me.
It's fucking 4chan. Like, 4chan is where QAnon started. I don't think this is where I'm going to go for my information. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really the least reliable source in the world you can think of. And like, people actively troll on 4chan. That's like the name of the game. That's like what the site's for. So like, I don't know if I believe this at all.
Right. It's a little funny that it caught fire. Like, that's why we didn't put it in the headline of this video. That's why we didn't put it in the thumbnail. Like, it kind of caught fire on the internet, and it was just like, why? There's no fucking source here whatsoever. Absolutely. Glacier Stream said, I'm starting to think that Bigfoot is just blurry. And quoting Mitch Hedberg.
Bigfoot is actually just
and that's extra scary to me, because that means there's a big out of focus monster wandering the countryside.
What's up, Alkanath Zaluith? How's it going, man? Thank you for joining.
What's up, Alkanath?
Absolutely.
Much love to you too. All right, let's move on to I think this is our that does it for the news right now. But before we get into and tackle this sale that's going on, guys, wanted to have a little PSVR2, not necessarily open discussion, but we've mentioned PSVR2 a lot tonight, so I think we're good on that front. But wanted to make a couple hardware predictions with you guys, have a little fun here for a second. You know, I don't think we'll bet any pizzas on this, but you know, we just wanted to compare some hardware predictions before we move on to the sale.
Yeah.
See what you guys think. Who wants to go first? I need 2 seconds.
What's going on, Dave? How you doing, man?
I'm doing just great.
Did AJ give you the heads up that we were going to do this, or is this like
He did, actually. He told me to prepare.
Okay, I didn't prepare. So like, don't tell him when he comes back. Don't tell him I didn't prepare. Okay, good.
Well, I didn't prepare either. So as long as everybody knows, we didn't prepare. AJ prepared a lot. Right. So let's let him go first. Yeah. And then we'll just rip on what he says and be like, oh, I think you're right about that one. Mm-hmm. And I'll 100%. Come in at one point and be like, AJ, you're dead fucking wrong about this. Yeah. Even though I haven't thought about it at all previously.
According to my notes.
I should write some notes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, scribble all over, draw lines everywhere, like draw arrows and stuff.
I'm just going to reuse the thing I still have here from our top 25 debate.
Nice.
I'll just be like, look, I took notes, AJ.
That's perfect. All right, so yeah, but we'll definitely let AJ go first because I prepared nothing for this.
I had some ideas. I mean, in terms of like inside out tracking. Oh, he says he's listening. You're a donut, AJ. I don't even know what that means.
You're a donut.
A big hole in your head. What was I gonna say? He made me lose my train of thought.
He took all the fun out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did have some thoughts actually. I'll save them.
I mean, I don't want to start until AJ gets back. I mean, I've done all this preparation. I don't want it wasted on just you.
You guys want to hang out with my otter that I still got here? A little otter? You guys should give this guy a name because he's going to be on the show more often. He's just on my desk like Tree Guy was. So he's going to find his way onto the show whenever possible. So if you can come up with a name for him in the meantime, that would be great.
Dave and I have been friends for 17 years. I didn't realize till just this last week that otters were his favorite animal. 17 years. Known you for half your life.
It's crazy, man. In middle school, we were friends.
Yeah.
Even though we lived halfway across, the internet's crazy. We were all in these RPG chat rooms. My name was X Raven Yamchura X, and I would say, Raven enters the tavern, looking dour and scans the room. And then somebody else would say something. And Bryan said, hey.
Bryan came into the chat room. His name was iCarly Rockstars.
That's not a RPG character name.
Hey, man, I can roleplay as anything I want.
All right.
I'm going to roleplay as Miranda Cosgrove all day, every day. Fucking don't hate. Dave got me high for the first time in middle school. Man, we've been friends for so long.
And which is crazy because I didn't even get high until college. So I found it on the side of the street and I was like, Bryan, you want to try this shit out? And I saw him do it and I was like, all right, I'm good. I waited like 10 years.
Wow, my brain cells are so far gone that I don't even remember that I got myself high for the first time.
Yeah.
All right. So this, by the way, is what.
Man, Jesus.
This,
AJ,
by the way, is
back.
what happens
AJ,
when AJ leaves us alone.
You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, he must be taking a big shit.
Wow. Oh, you think that's what he's doing? I thought he was just taking like a walk or something, man, stretching his legs.
Stretching his legs, yeah.
Yeah.
Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, keeping us exciting here with a $5 tip.
Oh.
He says, first prediction, aim controller part 2. Interesting. I think we're going to be focusing mostly on the headset itself, right? We could cover the controllers a little bit too, because I assume they'll be packed in.
Dude, I say
this time around, like, it'll be a whole bundle.
Let's blast his prediction wide open. I'm going to write down Ryan's prediction right here as my very first note on the topic. Aim.
I've already got it written down. You can see right there.
Nice,
it's
excellent. There it is. Also, shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $5. Says pizza, pizza, pizza. Money, money, money for PSVR without parole. Fire, fire, fire. Tell your cousin Mac. We said, what's up? Hey AJ,
what's up, cousin Mac?
AJ, we're so prepared for this for this talk. I'm very excited that you're here and we got all this.
I'm really sorry. I have to apologize to you guys. I didn't mean to call you donuts. I just like it when Gordon Ramsay calls people. He's like, "Yeah, you donut. You're such a donut." All right. So, anyways, yeah.
Before we move on, I want to say that I've looked over your suggestions for the name of the otter, and I think I'm going to go with Zero. I like the name Zero. That's kind of a cool name for an otter. He seems
it's also
like
Mega Man's brother's name.
It's also a kamikaze squirrel in the Genesis.
I remember Zero the kamikaze squirrel.
Yeah.
That's
all right. So, guys, my predictions. Here we go for the PlayStation VR2 headset. First of all, it will be called PlayStation VR2. That is my first prediction. Number 2.
Wait. Are you just going to go through all of them? Shouldn't we take these one by one?
Well, one of them we know is wired. It's going to have a wire. So that's obvious because that's already been.
I thought we were speculating.
This is what I'm talking about. I thought you
4K.
You brought the name. Wait, you brought up the name, and then you're like, oh, and now my next, yes. I thought we were going to take these one by one, meaning like, oh, you just said the name of it. Maybe are we also going to chime in on what we think the name of it will be?
You should. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be something different? Or do you think it's going to be called PSVR 2?
I think it's going to be called PSVR and then a word like PlayStation Vita. Like it could be PSVR Next. It could be, but I don't
think so. I think if it's got the PSVR in the front, that's already enough syllables that they need to get to just a number afterwards to keep it snappy. And I think a subtitle would make it too wordy. If it was like a PS Vita, instead of a PSVR Vita, PS something, I would be into that. PS Next or something like
I hope
that.
I don't have to change the name of the channel. What if it was like PSVR Next without Parole? That's getting wordy for sure.
You can just stick with. I hope it stays PSVR2 because then you won't have to change the title at all.
Yeah, I will definitely. PSVR Beyond. I like that. Good one, Nick. Yeah, but
these all sound like Next
names.
and Beyond.
Yeah.
Is this like the No Man's Sky? Is it just going to follow the No Man's Sky thing?
Yeah,
we're here to talk about the
PSVR
hardware
Origins.
real quick, guys.
It's gonna be great.
PSVR Origins. There you go.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be called PSVR2. Just for simplicity's sake. But we can move on.
What if it was called PSVR S Series X?
Yeah, we've gone through this before.
Okay.
It's gonna be called PSVR 1 ONE.
It's gonna be called New PlayStation VR in Knuckles.
Volume 2.
They're gonna call it just PSX to fuck with everybody's day again, because nobody knows the difference, and I don't fucking know the difference anyways.
All right, guys. Why don't I just throw these out here and you tell me you agree or disagree? 4K resolution on the PSVR 2 headset. 4K. What do you think?
I could see that happening. What is the Quest 2 at right now? I need to check on that.
It's like 2K plus.
I mean, I would think something closer to a Quest 2 display because they've been out. They're cheaper to manufacture. There's already a product line, out there, and they look really fucking like Quest 2 has a very crisp display. And so I think if they stuck with a similar thing, I don't think they have to go full 4K. I'll take 2K. So what do you guys laughing at?
Are you reading these names?
The chat has already named PSVR 2.
Okay.
We got
incredible.
I like PSVR.
We tax refund says PSVR 2, no doubt. We got Dan Keeper says No Man's Sky is taking every no. Sorry. Flame Hat the Game Cat says PSVR R.
PSVR Devark.
Oh, PSVR Dark. I got it. Aardvark. Russian
uh,
Sense says PSVR the sequel. Braxton B says
Johnny No
PSVR
Pockets.
U.
Johnny No Pockets. The Who Dat Game Cat says PSVR AF.
That's the one that made me laugh. I was
that's
like,
that's what I laughed at too.
Yeah. PSVR New Year's Eve. Good stuff.
Aceville disagrees with the 4K.
I disagree with the 4K too, but I also think that Triangulator might be onto something as well. When he says they will advertise it at 4K, but most games won't support it, like 8K on PS5. That is conceivable. They could do that because 8K on my PS5 box is basically just marketing nonsense.
Right.
I don't have anything 8K. I'm not going to play anything 8K. My TV doesn't do 8K. There's no, it's not going to happen. And I don't really think you need 4K in games to make them crisp and feel like you're getting over that 1080 barrier. And a lot of the fuzziness is from the hardware, the PS4 OG, the way the games are coded, stuff like that. It's not the headset itself. I mean, we've seen that 1080 can look really fucking good. So I think 2K would be perfectly fine. They don't have to go full 4K.
The reason I'm saying 4K is I think it'll be future-proof that way. I think it'll have that option. And I agree. That's actually a great point that most games probably won't go full 4K. Mm-hmm. But we do know that games, even indie devs like Ven VR Adventure has already been experimenting with that. Blood and Truth, of course, first-party games have a good chance of having that higher fidelity. So I think you're spot on right there. I do think it's going to be 4K, but I don't think every single game is going to be 4K all of a sudden.
Yeah, I definitely think games like Job Sim and the more cartoony games, like the stuff that isn't going to require a ton of processing power to run, will be able to take advantage of 4K, no problem. But what I like about this conversation is that you said it kind of future-proofs it, and it kind of future-proofs it when it comes to a PS5 Pro. Right, which you can only imagine is only a few years down the line, like maybe like 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4. I don't know. I forgot how many years it took. So the fact is, if if you wouldn't need to upgrade your PSVR 2 headset when the PS5 Pro rolls around, which would be kind of nice.
I don't know if they want to split generations like that again, where they're stuck with the PS5 for games that they want really to go all out on and only can play on the Pro. Sony would handcuff them to the 5 OG again, the same way they did. I think that's not a situation.
But starting with a much more powerful system this time. Like
I really feel like the
VR and PS4 OG is like just it kind of wasn't meant to be.
I hope they don't do a Pro.
I do too. I'm with you there.
They stick with PS5 as it is. It's perfectly powerful for anything that I need to do, and I think it will be able to run VR games pretty goddamn well.
Yeah.
So
I think it does. It's got way more power and stuff that I think it's got plenty of what you need to. It can do over what developers are going to be able to do. It can do 8K. Nobody's going to be making 8K for a while, a long time. We can hardly get. There's hardly 4K, 100 frames per second, 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, I should say, games. So I think the PS5 is already built to be future proof. We already know that games, like I said, Blood and Truth have been upscaled to 4K. So we already know it's possible. So I think 4K might be popular with first party games, PlayStation VR first party games, mostly.
Right. Real quick, guys, Glacier Streams with the $5 tip says, I used to like GamesCast Live. I still do, but I used to too. Killing it with the Mitch Hedberg jokes tonight. I love it, man.
Got that reference.
Awesome. We also want to give a shout out to Philip Riabchin with the €5.49. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. I'm sure there was no way I got it right. He says PS5R. Now,
like a Persona game. That sounds like a Persona game title or something.
There you go. Now, what if it was a Roman numeral 5? So it would actually look like the letters VR. PS5 Roman numeral.
You know how fucking confusing that would be. We called the PSVR the PS Roman numeral V. It's different, guys. We put little serifs on the top, so you know it's Roman numeral.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, so the next anything else? Let's just blast through these real quick so we can get to the sale because we are running out of time. So we gotta kind of move.
That wasn't intentional at all on our part. I promise you.
All right. Haptics and adaptive triggers. I think they're definitely going to be part of it.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, they've already said that. They said we're taking the stuff that we learned from our controller. Didn't they say this explicitly? Like we're gonna. Yeah,
it's a hardware prediction.
Well, haptics in the headset though is the question, isn't it? Like the controllers are going to be very dual sensey, but will we have haptics in the headset? Will the smell-o-vision thing that we've been seeing that patent roll around? We're not going to be smelling things in VR.
Not going to be smelling things.
Brian.
No.
Don't be doing this. You know the answers.
I mean, they patented it. Like and I'm getting like DMs and Facebook messages and all sorts of emails from people going, "Dude, PSVR2, we're going to be able to smell things." And I was like, "Well, there's a patent, but like
Jay, quit sending Brian stuff.
We are not
sending Brian that patent.
Like, I don't.
This is not the hardware shit I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about like specs, not can you smell.
I was trying to talk about specs, but that technically would be a spec if it was involved.
Totally
But
is it 2K smell or 8K smell? That's all I got to know.
All right, let's give Alkanoth Zuluit a shout out for his $10 tip. Says now if only Sony can do the PS Now like Game Passes, then we'll be in business, especially for PS5. Give us all digital library PS1 through 4 available to download and play even offline. Jesus, please.
That last part is
yes,
not going to happen, but that would be awesome. That would be awesome, but it's not going to happen. I will say if they keep watching Game Pass, they're going to have to evolve into something closer to that at some point because it is the industry leading like Netflix of games, which is something that the people have been talking about for 5 years at least. Like, when are we going to get our Netflix of games? And really, that's what Game Pass is.
Yeah,
so
but Sony's only going to do what they have to do. Like, if they can keep selling us games at $70 a piece, and they are the market leader and they're crushing Xbox for the whole generation, they're going to say, we don't need to do this until we have to. And then it might be an issue next gen, you know?
That's Xbox's value proposition is that, hey, we have this thing that other people don't have, even though we don't have exclusives, really. If we do have one, you'll get it day one, I swear. But, like, yeah.
Right. I miss backwards compatibility, man. Like Alkanoth, you don't even know, dude. Like, I would have paid $200 more for my PlayStation 5 if it was backwards compatible with PS1 through 4 in a heartbeat. It would be like, I can get rid of some of these other machines. This upscales to HD. It would make my whole life so much easier. I'm a collector. I keep all my games. And it's such a pain in the butt to hook up a PS3 to play PS3, PS1 games. PS2 is impossible to play because it looks like crap. I don't know. I'm just irritated. Sony really dropped the ball on backwards compatibility. All
right. Well, we're straying quite far from the point here. AJ, you want to get us back on track?
Man. So I think it's going to be LCD screens. I think they're going to move away from the OLED. But I think they're going to counter that by having high dynamic range as a feature.
Okay.
get more out of the colors.
Yes, I love HDR.
Yeah, well,
It's a good
Okay.
HDR has become pretty much an industry standard, right? So I'd say definitely.
Yeah. The current headset is about 100 degrees field of view. I think it's going to be no less than 120 for the field of view.
I was going to guess 120 as well. I think they're starting to get into. I mean, you've got these freakish headsets like the Pimax that are like wide as fuck and have like a crazy FOV,
Yeah.
but they're not going to do anything that looks that weird. I think they'll stick with a normal like form factor that I think you can probably only accommodate up to about 120, 130, unless you expand the headset out, like Pimax and stuff like that. So 120 sounds about right to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got. I was looking into this. I couldn't find what like the high end PC headsets have, like not the super high end like Pimax, but
they
like,
don't all disclose what the FOV is.
Yeah,
they don't all say.
Like
yeah.
I was actually surprised that I like with PSVR being about 100 and Quest 2 being 90. I was actually surprised that I couldn't find out what the current standard is. But yeah, 120 would be amazing. Like 20% more than what we have now. That would be
I would take 110.
For sure.
Any improvement is an improvement and will be noticeable.
Shout out to Red Rover, the effing game cat with the $2 tip, says, imagine the smell of RE7. Ew, yuck.
There's a candle for that.
There's a candle.
I've got a candle over in the other room. And every time Jeremy came over, he would open it. And he didn't have to light it. It would just smell up the whole place immediately. So I got mad at him and told him to stop it.
It's like blood and sawdust or something. Like, what is it?
It smells like rotting corpses. And not that I know what that smells like.
I heard it smells really nice. You're lying.
Nope, not lying. The Skyrim candle smells nice. I have that. I have another candle too. I forgot which one though. Somebody in the chat can tell me.
The headset will be this is an easy one. Headset's gonna be 120 hertz refresh rate.
Yes,
it's gonna be native 120 hertz.
Yep.
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see games start to target a higher frames per second too, not just a minimum of 60, but like a minimum of like 90 and a maximum of like 120 at least.
Yeah, all this is gonna help with motion sickness for sure.
I got a question for you. What do you think about foveated rendering based on eye tracking? You think this is possible? Because this is
my next one on the thing, Dave, is eye tracking and foveated rendering is my next prediction.
I'm like a fucking Nostradamus over here.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely going to be a thing.
Yeah,
I hope so. That's more expensive than a lot of the other stuff we're talking about because inside-out tracking is industry standard at this point. It's not hard to produce those. The production lines are there to make that sort of stuff already. Eye tracking and foveated rendering hasn't been done yet on a consumer, widely available, accessible, well-priced headset. So that would be a big leap forward that I would be kind of surprised to see, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
What's happening?
No,
Did stream die or something?
No, okay. I'm waiting for Brian to say something.
Oh, okay.
No, I was actually trying to find the quote. At some point we at some point we heard a quote. Like, I mean, it was like 2 years ago, I think, when a Sony rep was somebody at Sony was talking about the future of VR and saying that it would be that you couldn't imagine a future of VR without eye tracking, foveated rendering, all that, because it improves the processing ability of the console to render what needs to be rendered so much more and focus on what needs to be focused on. So I think this is kind of a no-brainer, even though for me, I'm like, I don't know, man, it sounds really ambitious. Hearing a quote from like 2 years ago with somebody saying that, yeah, this is the way forward. I'm like, yeah, then I guess that sounds right.
Well, to be fair, we did hear a quote just weeks ago, and they said that wired is not an option, and then they come out and say it is wired. So, you never know. Maybe the tech sometimes just isn't there yet. But like what Dave was saying, I think the tech is there for this one, so it should be easy to do. We'll see. Final hardware prediction for now is that it's going to use Type-C cable, and it's going to plug into the front of the PS5.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer.
So, yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting thing because, so on the one hand, USB-C cable is good because if your cat chews it up, go to the store, buy another USB-C, plop it in there. You can get a longer one if you need to extend your range, all kinds of stuff. Like, if you can swap out the cable at your leisure, that makes it a much more consumer-friendly product. You don't have to send it back to Sony when your dog chews it up or whatever. You just buy another USB-C and flip it in. That leads me to a thing that some people have speculated about, which is if Sony uses an industry standard, not a proprietary cord, but a USB-C, do people think this might be a headset that would conceivably work with PC VR games? If it's just a USB interface and it's a display and input-output, I mean, it would be crazy, but that would cut them a huge section of the market if they were able to say, it plays all our games, and you know what? It can be your Rift too if you want it to be. It's got a USB, plug it in there, you're good to go. I don't know if that's even feasible, but people have been talking about it, fantasizing a little bit, and it would be crazy. Like,
I think it'd be a smart business move.
It would, but either way, just having a USB-C, like a standard cable, would be excellent. I hope that that's what they do.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I guess if you were able to get the PSVR2 headset in the hands of consumers that didn't have a PlayStation 5, right? If somebody was like, I'm just going to buy this for my PC because it's the cheapest one, and it's the best one, would that convince anybody to go, I've already got the headset, maybe I'll just buy the PlayStation 5 now so I can play all these exclusive PSVR2 games? I feel like getting the headset into those people's hands is a good first step of doing that. I saw the kind of people, like you said, fantasizing about this before, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But in that regard, kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So to recap here, my predictions, guys. Thank you for giving your input on it. I like your insights on it. We spent
so much time preparing, for sure. So
Wired,
you're very welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the hard work. Wired, 4K, haptic and feedback and adaptive triggers, HDR, lighter, and at least 120 degree field of view, 120 hertz native, eye tracking, foveated rendering, and Type-C. Those are my predictions. I'll go ahead.
And we've also said inside-out tracking, of course, right?
Inside-out tracking.
That's a no-brainer. Got to be inside-out tracking.
Right.
Better,
There's going to be
happier,
cameras on things.
More productive, comfortable, not drinking too much. Exercise at the gym. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, it is time now to get to the sale. And we have 20 minutes to run down.
Let's do this. It's sale time.
How's the sale work, guys?
Ultimate lightning round.
We go thumbs up or thumbs down about as fast as fucking possible. So we're not doing.
Although this one isn't 100 games long, so we might be able to spend a little more time on it. It's like 20 games? It's like, something like that. 15, 20, 30.
Oh, here we go.
Let's have a debate for
every
every single one of them then.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get some water first.
Where's my coffee? Somebody, tornado, get me coffee. Doesn't work somehow.
Did she steal your hat? What happened? I feel weird that I'm not the only guy without a head covering. There we go. Now I feel normal again.
Let's do this. All right, guys. So
I have no idea.
Bryan was right. We're going to give 3 thumbs up or whatever, and we're going to give you our recommendations. Quick breakdown. First, we have Astrobot Rescue Mission for $14.99.
You guys know the deal. We don't even have to talk about this.
Big thumbs up.
Don't forget, this used to be a $40 game, so it's only $5 off on the sale, but it's really like $25 off from the original price.
Yes. Huge yes. Bundle of joy from start to finish. Top 5. Could easily, arguably, one of the best PSVR game. One of them. Next, we have Blood and Truth for $14.79.
Same story.
It's a great game.
Absolutely.
You must own it.
Awesome game.
You gotta
action
play
movies.
It's quite good.
Everything. If you love action movies and rail shooters, you're going to love this. I like both of those things. I loved it. Bravo Team for $9.99.
Not for any price. Thumbs down.
Just not fun.
Big 3 thumbs down.
Not fun.
Really bad. I know. I see people coming to Bravo's team defense every now and then. I'm just like, it has been updated, but no, it's bad. Carly and the Reaper Man for $10.99.
If you got a friend to play with local, I'd say, give it a shot. If you don't, it's kind of hard to play by yourself.
What if you enjoyed this more by yourself? I enjoyed this by myself more than I did playing with a friend.
Well, you're a very small section of the audience there, because I think it's designed to be played with friends. And it's really kind of weird and tough. By yourself. Yeah, if you're playing by yourself. Yeah. So I think it's kind of, if you're in that situation, I'm middle of the road if you've got a friend. If you don't have a friend, I would say no personally, but
I like this game.
Yeah, middle of the road. I'm with Dave. If you get a friend, it's more of a thumbs up.
All right, Everybody's Golf VR for $9.89 Studios.
Oh man, I went on mute, but I was going to make the 989 Studios joke. Anyways, thumbs up. Yes, good one.
Big thumbs up. Awesome game. Really relaxing. under $10 steal. Firewall 0 Hour for $12.99.
Yeah.
You should have this game already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have an aim controller and you don't have this game,
I was going to say, what if you don't have an aim
on?
controller? What would you say?
I know some people who play it with DualShock, but really it's like the aim game, you know?
It is the aim game.
Yeah.
What's funny is that David the Gamecast says all these prices are still too high for me, holding out for the end of Gen 1 sale. What's funny is that, you know,
Astrobot for $15 is too expensive. That's crazy to me.
In all fairness, I was like, oh, well, it's technically $25 cheaper than the original price, but it's only $5 off from the current price. So I do actually see that, like, if you're holding out for like a super deep sale, yeah, I mean, like, these aren't the craziest, cheapest. I don't know. So it's not mind blowing sale right now. $5 off here, $5 off there. So I kind of see where he's coming from.
I love seeing all the thumbs in the chat. Thank you guys for playing along with us here.
Yep.
What's up, Mr. Game Cat Canaveral? Gran Turismo Spec 2 for $14.99.
At this point, I would say yes. They've added a lot to it as far as VR content. You can do much more than you could at launch, and it's like one of the better driving games we got, right?
I think the regular version is $9.99 right now. So careful on that one. So I'm gonna say no to this one.
What is Spec 2?
Okay, I'm sorry.
But does Spec 2
it doesn't add any
anything
VR stuff. No, it doesn't add VR stuff. Does it?
Most of everything it adds is not VR related.
So what it does really, I think it's like
one.
It's almost like an ultimate edition where like you take all the DLC and package it into the base game. So it has everything they added over the years to the base game in the default package. So if you bought it on a disc or something, it would have all that content, right? So that's the only difference, I think, between buying that and the normal one. So yeah, if the normal one's cheaper, just get the normal one. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Iron Man VR for $23.99.
It's a pretty good game if you're into this sort of thing.
This is an easy yes.
We recommend it all the time.
This game, I know this game has some little pacing things and some things it could have done better, but it also does some freaking awesome things. And I love the story. Ghost is such an amazing character. I love that. I love her supervillain. And the combat is so like I like the combat so much. The locomotion, the combat, all that stuff. It's the little things about this game that bother me. Little things.
It's plenty of good game for $23.99. I would say.
Yeah, agreed. Thumbs up. Everything you're doing inside the suit is great, and the story gets better as you go. I just kind of wish there was less Tony Stark stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15 for $14.99.
Nope, that's a hard no from me.
Okay, I'm gonna say, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go sideways here, but I'm just gonna say, if you have a lot of Final Fantasy nostalgia. I'm not a fan of 15. Before you tell me that again, I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy 15. I really didn't like it at all. Barely played it even. But there's a lot of other Final Fantasy nostalgic things in this game that I think I liked. And there's like metal while you're fishing and something. So I'm gonna give it like a sideways, maybe thumbs up. I'll give it a thumbs up.
If you're on an OG PS4, absolutely do not buy this game.
Yeah. Only if you're on a Pro.
Stay far away from it.
Yeah, right. Also, if you like fishing games, don't buy this one.
By Catch and Release. That's actually on our
Catch and Release is much better. Catch and Release. Yeah, absolutely buy Catch and Release first. I'm going to go back to sideways.
The UI in Monster of the Deep is just terrible. Buying new lures, buying new reels or whatever the hell you need. And then finding out what you need, you have to get into the car for, and then like you get back out of the car and then go back to the store and then like you have to remember what you need. It's just a fucking convoluted.
It wasn't that confusing.
They make you wait so long.
I spent 20 hours with that game. Spent 20 hours with that game, and to do all this stuff, the post game stuff, it's just a fucking convoluted mess. I hate it.
I didn't think it was that.
And even if you are a fan of FF15, all the little cutscenes with the characters and stuff are just so tedious. And like, why is this in here? Why am I sitting listening to this lady? I want to be fishing for goddamn sake. Like, there's so little fishing that you can just actively go out and do. They put all these things in the way. Like Bryan was saying, you got to do this. You got to get in the van. You got to go do this, do that. You can't just go out on the lake and like, I'm going to fish for 30 minutes straight. That's not how this game is structured. So yeah, I don't like it.
All right. Fair enough. No Heroes Allowed VR for $9.89.
Hell
we
yeah.
talked about this game lately. Not an interactive game, but a great, fun strategy game.
Yeah, if you're into like a kind of a casual RTS, like it's not super hardcore or anything. It's the art design, the delivery, the style, the humor, everything is really cool. And I guess it's based on something that already existed called No More Heroes that I don't know about. But
no.
It's got
No
that
More
sort of.
Heroes is the Travis touchdown game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep me honest here.
Yeah, this
No
is
Heroes Allowed.
This is part of the Badman series.
The Badman. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. GameCat Canavel's really taking advantage of the the hand symbols in the
But
chat.
this is super underrated
It's
game
thumbs up
that
and
nobody
thumbs
talks
down.
about.
Is he giving us the finger?
I like this one.
No, he's
He
giving
is.
us all
Well, he's
sorts.
doing that.
He's making innuendos.
Can we do that on YouTube? Is that safe for YouTube? Are you allowed to do that on YouTube?
That's funny. I like went away from the chat just long enough to not see that. Although I did see in the chat that David the Game Cat's parents are lying to him. That's adorable. All right, what's the next game?
All right, next game is PlayStation VR Worlds for $10.04. You should have this anyways.
Yeah.
Why is it? I wish it was more. I'd say no for now, only because it's been so much cheaper.
It's
but
been
it's like you have to have
so
this.
many times.
It's been $4 like so many
Okay,
times.
yeah, you're right.
Everybody needs this game, but not for $10.
Agreed. It launched at 40, and that was a ripoff. And somehow, like, here we are 4 years later, and what the hell is this video of?
Should have been a demo disc, or it should now be a demo disc. This should be packed in for free as a demo disc, free download when you get a PSVR. Here you go, check out some stuff. Especially because it would sell people on other games. Like, they play the little Astrobot thing in there, and they're like, oh shit, there's a full game of this? I'll go buy that. And same with London Heist. You know, if that's your first thing that you try out, and you realize Blood and Truth exists after that, they've got your money already. So it should be a demo disc, honestly. $4 or $5 is better than 10.
Yeah, Warren Gore, you haven't played this yet? You got to play Ocean Descent.
Yeah.
Ocean
You got
Descent
to play.
kicks ass, dude.
You got to play London Heist. You got to play Scavenger's Odyssey.
Scavenger's
even the
Odyssey is
Luge.
my favorite.
I like the Luge. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
I was wrong. Sorry, Astrobot's not from that.
Yeah, it's Playroom.
Stupid. Yeah, I messed up on that. Yeah, Playroom.
Didn't you do a top 25 list? Like, we didn't say anything. Now it's like way in the past.
Oh yeah.
But didn't you do a say that in a top 25 list where you're like PlayStation VR has Astrobot? We're just like okay.
Yeah, I do this all the time. All right.
Hope nobody notices.
It's
Riggs Mechanized Combat League for $9.99.
Yeah, nobody's playing this game anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna say
I know it's tricky.
no.
It's
It's a polished game. It's cool, but like,
listen, I got Riggs at launch. I stop into Riggs probably once every 8 months and try to spend a couple hours with it. And it never hooks me. I know there's some hardcore Riggs lovers out there, and I get it because it's a fully
World Haze
fleshed out game, and it's like they don't worry about motion sickness. They let you jump all over the place and do crazy shit, and it's high speed action. And somehow I'm just not having any fun with this game. I also really suck at it, so that could be a big part of it. So I personally am giving it a thumbs down, but I get if anybody else likes it.
I'm only giving it a thumbs down because it's been cheaper. But I like this game. This is an interesting one. Space Pirate Trainer for $5.99.
this is an old game, but
The
it holds up.
grandfather of
It
wave
holds up.
shooters.
I think
It does
this is
hold up.
like, as far as wave shooters go, this is one of the best ones you can get.
Yeah.
And it's proven it's got legs. This is one of the first VR games I ever played in like a little VR demo at a Microsoft store, and I loved it then, and I love it now. I mean, it's still a really good, solid concept for $5. I mean, if you don't have it and you like that sort of stuff, check it out. Got a little bit of a Tron Galaga thing going on. It's very sci-fi, like pretty cool. For sure.
I'm gonna give Star-Lord Simulator Training an absolute thumbs up for $5.99. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
Dope
going to give a
game.
thumbs up with the caveat that's like, if you're sick of wave shooters, this isn't going to change anything. Like this doesn't revolutionize the genre, as these guys said. It's like sort of one of the earlier ones to begin with.
But it still kicks Dino Crisis' or Dino. What's it called? No, not Dino.
Robinson's
Time Crisis.
Journey.
No, what is that name? The game
Time
where you
Carnage.
shoot dinosaurs. Time Carnage.
Time Carnage.
Well, this is the thing. Let me add one more thing to this. The reason I'm giving this a big thumbs up is because this game uses like space. Like you actually use a lot of the stuff we like about Super Hot, the stuff we like about Pistol Whip, where you're dodging. Like there's a very use your body to move around. And so that for that reason alone, I think it is very, very, very immersive. It's also like a little bit deeper than I thought, but good stuff, man. Super Stardust Ultra for $9.99.
Too expensive.
Right
Too
off the bat.
expensive.
Too expensive and not very good.
It doesn't need to be in VR, and the like standalone VR part that they made for this is just like a Battlezone knockoff, and just get Battlezone instead.
Yeah.
If you
VR
like
part's
Housemarque
annoying.
games, like it's not even worth it. Even I love Housemarque games, but it's just not VR enough for me to be worth $10.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the special VR mode that they made is only like 10 levels, so just when it starts getting interesting, it's over. It's like 30 minutes at most, I think. And it's only one level. In the actual game, what I love about Housemarque games is they're always like 4K. They're always like super crazy sharp, and it's like old school action. It's like it's really cool to play on your TV. This adds depth to it, but then kills the resolution, and so it's harder to play, I think, because of that. So I mean, I'm gonna give it a thumbs down, but I really love Super Stardust.
Yeah, I like the game. It's just I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to recommend too much.
Yeah,
I'm like
middle, almost middle. All right, The Inpatient for $9.99.
This is a tough one, man.
I don't know. I'm gonna do middle of the road on this.
I'm gonna do middle of the road as well because it's got really good graphics. It's decent. It's 2 hours long, and it's got good storytelling, kind of. Maybe it's just got good character building or something. It's got a nice atmosphere, but it's 2 hours and done. So maybe I'm gonna lean more towards no, but I'm about middle ground right now because it is really quality in some ways, but 2 hours for $10, I don't know. They just think you can spend your money better later on.
The problem is that it's actually not 2 hours and done. It's 2 hours 6 times over. Like, you're supposed to play this game again and again and again and again and again, and to see every single little story arc that you can find. Like, this game ends dramatically different depending on the choices that you make. Unfortunately, the choices that you make are so mundane and bland and stupid that, like, you're gonna have to like get a strategy guide to like figure out the exact right choices to make to see all the different outcomes. And and some of the outcomes are radically different, and some of them are mildly different. And so they made it really not fun to replay, unfortunately, for a game that they want you to replay. That said, if you like horror, there's enough scares in this for $10. I think if you play it once or twice, you'll get your money's worth. It's just really, I don't know. It's just not really well done. There's a lot of downtime, a lot of boring stuff between the scary stuff. So I'm gonna say middle of the road, but probably required playing if you love horror.
I love horror, and I have zero desire. They really screwed this one up in that regard. You actually made me change from middle of the road to thumbs down.
You're welcome.
But I honestly didn't hate it that much. I think I paid like $15 for it at the time. All right, so here we go. The Persistence for $14.99.
Yeah, that's a game that's worth $15.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, man, what can you say about this game? I mean, I love System Shock 2. This is the closest thing we have to System Shock or Dead Space in VR. This game is so good. Like, feels like way ahead of its time in so many ways. It is DualShock 4 only, but I don't really care.
That's fine. It's super replayable. Replayable. It's a roguelike. So, every time is different. When you die, you get a little stronger. You can upgrade some stuff, but it's really, you don't know what you're going to see each time through. And it's pretty terrifying. I mean, it's like, like AJ said, it's close to Dead Space. It's got that kind of vibe. Very cool.
Amazing stealth. Amazing graphics. Really awesome. It's even got like a really good story that it follows. Like, even though I didn't really care for the characters, like the story was still like good.
It's tough too. Like it gets difficult, and so like upgrading all of your different weapons, upgrading all of your permanent abilities, like it's necessary, but it's still really difficult. So like it's one of those that feels really satisfying when you actually beat it, or even like when you just complete another floor. And it's intense. It has like that Souls feeling where it's like every time you take a step into a new territory, you're like, fuck man, am I gonna like survive walking around the next corner? It has that feeling to it. It's terrifying in that regard, because I think all the horror sense or the horror vibe wears off after you finish the first floor.
Nick Mulo gave this one the golden buzzer. It looks like
the golden buzzer. Fuck yeah!
Look at all this love. Look at all this love for Persistence. I don't think a single game we named tonight. You're right, guys. If there's one game to pick up from this sale right now, it is the Persistence.
That's the one.
Yeah, if you haven't played the Persistence, you are fucking missing out big time. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's great.
I know. All right, Tokyo Chronos is on sale for $29.99.
That's
Wait, it's
too
on
expensive
sale for
still.
$30?
No,
It's
permanent. It's a permanent price drop. I think it says here in this
Yeah.
What was it
lineup
before?
that AJ
50?
dropped here.
I think it was 50 before, right?
$49.99.
It's-
$49.99.
Listen,
Not worth it for either of those prices, as far as I can tell.
Brian, you've gone on many tangents and angry rants on this game. I don't think you really have to explain anything on this one.
No, it's just not. It should not have been a VR game. That's all I'm gonna say. It should have been a Vita game where you read, because you read the whole thing anyway, and it's like 15 hours long. Just that's it, man.
Well, the other part is the sequel, Alt Deus Beyond Chronos, is supposed to be actually good in VR and supposed to take advantage of VR and even have
pilot a mech and stuff.
mech combat and stuff.
Whoa, really?
So hold out for Alt Deus Beyond Chronos, especially because I think I'm going to get a key and I'll preview it on my channel soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
but it looks to be much better than Tokyo Chronos, and like still keep the same vibe of that anime kind of visual novel, but like with something to do. So don't buy this with that coming down the road.
Yeah, it's so not my type of thing, but the Alt Deus people reached out to me too. I'm assuming they did both of you guys as well. And so I was like, send me a key, I'll check it out for sure. So now that you mentioned that, I'm like excited. But this one, big thumbs down, all three of us, right?
Yep.
All right, and the last game on sale is Until Dawn: Rush of Blood for $10.04.
That seems like it's been cheaper.
It's been
and
cheaper
everyone
all the time.
Everyone should own it already. But that said, you have to have this game. If you don't have this game and you have Move controllers,
you should have this game already.
So even if it's been $6 before, strike while the iron's hot. Get it now. Just play it.
I can't
don't waste
say
any
no
more
to
time.
this. I want to say no because it's been cheaper so often, but I just can't.
Yeah,
It's so clearly
it's the
obviously
reason
worth $10. It's worth way more than $10.
It's the reason I bought PSVR.
So
it's so good.
I want to be really clear about something though. We were actually corrected on our top 25 list about this. We give No Man's Sky a ton of credit for being amazing on PlayStation 5. This game is half broken on PlayStation 5. There's a pause screen that pops up occasionally that like flickers. It's not. I wouldn't call it a reliable gaming session. So just keep that in mind. If you're playing on PlayStation 5, like it might not be as smooth of a game.
Oh man, we're gonna have to
I
think about that.
didn't know about that. I did not know about that.
It didn't even cross my mind to think about that.
Well, most people out there don't have a PS5 yet, so if you do, maybe be careful. But most of you guys will be totally fine buying this game.
Yeah,
if you have a PS4 or Pro.
With that in mind, it's definitely a big thumbs up over here.
Yeah. And guys, that does it for the sale and the show. Let's go. 9 o'clock, 9:02.
Only 2 minutes over. Two goddamn minutes.
2 minutes over, guys.
Guys, it was really fun hanging out with everybody tonight. Everybody in the chat was so interactive. You guys were interacting. We were interacting back. It felt very tangible. You guys were so close. We almost snuggled.
I want
to
interact with you.
Get touchy out there.
I'm gonna touch you guys. There we go.
Give you a little rub.
Wow. Ooh, I feel tingles all over my body, strangely enough. But guys, thank you very much for hanging out. As always, want to give a special shout out to our moderators to keep everybody in line, making sure that no one's crossing the line or doing anything evil behind the scenes. Evil? I don't think that's a thing. Our moderators are awesome. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, make sure you join our Discord. The link for that is in the description. I know Rhodey posted it a ton of times, but that is where like literally we hang out and have these kind of conversations pretty much 24/7. So thank you very much for joining us over there. It's like a big old AOL chat room for anybody as old as I am. That's kind of the deal. Also, shout out to everybody who donated during the show. We really appreciate all the support. Thank you to everybody over on Patreon who supports the channel that way, and of course, everybody who was just in the chat, man, and like interacted with us. Like we almost snuggled. I'm telling you. And then finally, of course, everyone who sat back and watched the show and didn't say a goddamn word. You guys are awesome too. We know you're out there because there's certainly not 5,000 people in the chat right now.
I saw some of you. I saw some of you commenting before the stream saying that they were just going to be chilling back and watching.
That Game Cat in the chat, we see you.
One more quick shout out to my buddy Jason. Again, the VR chat show. They did a interview with the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners guy Constantini. So if you get a chance, go check that out. Support that game.
Support that game. Support that channel. Support everybody. Yeah. This community is fucking awesome. We don't want to leave anybody out. Also, I want to say thank you to you, Dave. Make sure you go subscribe to Dave at Dave Station
thank
VR.
you.
And I also want
For
to say thank
trimming
you,
my fucking beard. Oh, I thought you meant me specifically for some reason.
My mom sent me a text. She's very happy.
Did she really?
She's very concerned about you, man. She wants to make
Well,
sure you're doing
okay,
okay.
well.
Right? And parents are easy to fool, man. All you have to do is like clean yourself up a little bit and
Get a
they're like,
haircut.
oh, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Everything's great.
He's doing great.
Yeah, it's totally great. I fooled my
Twitcher
parents
says-
for like decades.
Yeah.
Twitcher says, join the Discord, drink more water, put some pants on. I will do 2 of those things, sir.
Pants are stupid. I'm not wearing pants. You guys aren't wearing pants. Nobody's wearing pants, let's be honest. Gym shorts. Yeah. Also, thank you, AJ.
Wearing gym shorts.
Make sure you subscribe to AJ over at The Underground and follow him on Twitter. Follow all of us on Twitter. Why not?
My channel has AIM support. Do it.
Mine has PSVR2 support. It's future-proofed. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Cats. My name is Brian. This was PSVR GamesCast Live. And we're out.
And we're out.
To the cat, because I want to say goodbye and thank you so much. I love you all. Brian Paul loves you all. Dave loves you all. To Red Rover, the effing Game Cat Dargans. Deathly the Death Cat. I love you, Dave. Braxton B. Nick Mulo. Glacius Dreams. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat. Black Ice 477. This is hashtag hydrate your homies. Mr. Game Cat Carnaval coming in here, throwing middle fingers in the air everywhere like you just don't care. He's still the attack cat. Johnny right off the stray cat. Thank you so much for moderating. Razvan Camilla. Thank you so much for joining. Johnny No Pockets, aka Who Dat? Cat. Gamer Chick 13, the Diet Pepsi Cat. Go watch my Should We Shouldn't We. Also, you missed my stream earlier. It's okay. I still forgive you because you're working on the PS5 patch for me. And also the DLC, my Brass Knuckles, Unicorns, Zombie Unicorns.
All right. Who's the next name?
Julia, Game Cat. And thank you so much for hanging out. Emily, Baxter, Dan, Kiefer. True Words. I still, True Words always gives me crap.
What the fuck are you doing, Brian? God damn it. Oh, shit. Hold on. Stop.
True Words always gives me shit on my streams because I make a lot of grunting noises, and I was like, I tried, but I can't. I tried. It's more immersive for me to be like, but I couldn't do it, man. I'm sorry. I don't think he watches my channel anymore. The Sacred Grove, Flame Hat, Game Cat, Ward for the Chorus, Game Cat, Steve Irie, tuned in from Ireland, David the Game Cat, thank you so much, Donatello the Scientist, Game Cat, Miss Hack the Game Cat, stay lit, homie, Menke, who else we got here?
C. Murphy, the Game Cat, got here
one
a little
big,
bit late.
last big happy birthday to Scottjestico, Plo, 617, Decepticon, oh yeah. Guys, I think that is it. That is everybody. I see. Oh, Gabriel, 004, the license to meow, Game Cat, meow, 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 meow. Professor Lilith. So terrible. Nick Mulo, thank you.
Tornado heard me.
What is happening?
Tornado heard my cat in the heat calling. She came down from her tower. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay."
Do you need my assistance, human?
Right? She's,
Fuck out of here! Fuck you!